We're live.
Hey, this is Dynamo Mars. Heard any good jokes lately? Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 134 of Trick or Treat Radio. I couldn't get the XSplit to go live.
XSplit.
Nice.
Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture. It is navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters. We drink booze. We win championship belts, and we fuck up the XSplit live stream from time to time. XSplit. It's so funny. I can't go to the actual live. I'm gonna have to. For anyone watching live, we have to restart real quick. Sorry about that.
So good and so elated.
Talk about Captain Lou for a second, Tiny.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be like, and tonight the big guy in the firecracker gotta take it all home.
Nice.
Whatever else. And one time he was with Boogie Woogie Brown. I think Mike told me that he said, "Tonight the little guy and the black guy."
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he was, a mess. Did you ever see the video where Sandman went to his wedding and caused a fucking, a mess?
No. To Captain Lou's wedding?
Yeah, Captain Lou got married again, old. Not too long before he died.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
Son of a bitch.
He's been dead for what? How many years now? Jeez, it's been a while.
Dragging
Four.
up old wounds.
How's Macho Man doing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He didn't live too long after being our manager just to prove that we had.
He was tiny, actually.
Yeah.
He was really thin when we saw him.
Wait, he was
didn't-
you?
He was tiny. He had the mask.
Well, there was
on.
another time that he managed just me, and he walked as far as the merch table and sat down. And I found out after that that's kind of what he does. So at one point, I turn around to respond to Captain Lou, and he was at the merch table, comfortable waving at me.
Nice. That's good.
Giving me the old
Go
Grampy-
get him.
Giving me the old Grampy wave as I walk down the aisle.
Grampy wave.
Go
Yeah.
get him, slugger.
So
Yeah, he
Okay.
died. He died October 14th, 2009.
Sad day.
Shit.
yeah, he was. And there were a lot of phenomenal people that were in the locker room that I was lucky enough to be in a while, and there were a lot of local, bitter old pricks too. But Captain Lou was always there for a bit of advice or to tell a good story or whatever else. A lot of those guys were. D'Lo Brown was probably the best that came through a few times. I remember one night, that night I hurt myself, Tiny was telling, being Tiny and saying, and then we'll jump off the side of this balcony. And D'Lo was just laughing in the corner, probably 9 out of 10 shows somebody would have jumped off that balcony, but we were just being ridiculous. And at that same show, Brutus the Barber Beefcake was there, and he fell asleep on a Nautilus machine.
Yeah, he just looked freaking tired.
Yeah.
The whole night he just looked tired. Wasn't he asleep in the alley too? No, he was awake
No, that
in
was
the alley.
that was the show. That was another show. We went outside. Raven was lying around. No, Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, Buff
was
Bagwell,
just out in
right.
the fucking alley sleeping by the trash.
What about me? What about Buff Bagwell?
Not
You
really.
never hear about it. And it probably I would have ended up being a much better wrestler if I had traveled up to the New York and Pennsylvania area where there's a lot of more people to learn from. But there's something to be said for the amount of famous wrestlers that I saw naked in a short amount of time.
Wow.
I've seen every little bit of Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Pecker Checker.
Did he have a Ric Flair profile?
No, but yes,
So you found out why they call him the Hammer, huh?
but his back looked like it just went into a slit, and that's where his ass was, I think.
That's about right. Yeah.
he had a flat ass.
Yeah.
And Brutus the Barber Beefcake had a baby's arm. So that was pretty crazy. King Kong Bundy, I saw in like if King Kong Bundy wore a size like 60 jockstrap, he had like a size 20 on.
There's a visual.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess. But I mean, also like a lot of those guys were awesome, and it was a good mix at the time that I was coming up of guys that I grew up watching and guys that would have been my contemporaries if I weren't so lazy. So like, you know, Tommy Dreamer and Just Incredible and all those guys were around. So it was pretty cool. Like, you know, again, there's something to be said for those. It's just a paycheck for those guys, but it was tough when they offered me to book briefly. I sent a list of who I thought they should book, and the guy running it had no idea who any of these people were. And he probably regrets it now because it was CM Punk. It was Colt Cabana.
Yeah, right.
It was Bryan Danielson. It was Low Key. And it would have been, you know, cool for him to be able to say for, like, the expensive one was Low Key, and I think he was $500 in a rental car. The rest of those guys were like $250 a night guys. So he could have had a fucking phenomenal show.
Raven Shadow knows about those.
Hey,
$250 a night, guys.
yeah, you know, it's exciting. It's
There was another show that Vigilante came with me, and it was supposed to be Hawk and Animal, and Animal left because he forgot something in his hotel room and never came back.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was.
He's like, I forgot something. I forgot that I don't want to fucking wrestle.
And that was also the night that I watched Greg the Him and Valentine walk out of where everybody was changing in his tighty whities, in his boots, get behind the signing table and just start signing.
It's amazing.
It was pretty awesome. I have regrets that I didn't. I probably could have had a good run as like a I don't want to say these people's names because they're super talented in their own right, but in the vein of like a Roddy Piper or like a Ric Flair. But I couldn't be what I didn't have the gumption, the coordination of the talent to be what I wanted to be, which was, you know, like a wrestler.
You didn't have the intentional fortitude?
I didn't have
Intentional fortitude. I like that. So it's funny. I feel like we're actually interviewing you, Dynamo. Let me go over what we're going to do tonight, though. So we're reviewing two films. First up is the vampire mockumentary from New Zealand, What We Do in the Shadows, starring Jemaine Clement and Taika Waititi. I think I'm saying that right. Taika Waititi. And
Tiny White?
yes. And then also in the second half of the show, we're doing our Roll the Bones segment once again. If you've been following along at home, we did this several months ago, and Tiny White had the first pick, and he selected the film Psychomania. You guys remember that, right?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, psycho, satanic biker gang. Well,
That Netflix disc is still kicking around my freaking house somewhere.
you own it now.
From that show.
I had layer cake for a very, very long time. Like to the point where when I finally found
No, you do not have layer cake for more than 5 minutes near you.
It's true. Probably true.
Cake is delicious. Don't fun on. Don't.
Hey,
fun on
remind
that.
me to talk about. Speaking of layer cake, remind me to talk about that Vaughn
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that maybe in the last segment, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on him and also Kingsman, which you recently saw, and so that's so Roll the Bones. So for this segment, it was my pick, and I decided to select the film Dunyayi Kurtaran Adam, otherwise known as Turkish Star Wars, and Dynamo shot a angry gaze at me when he found that out.
Yeah. I recall my statement when it originally came up.
Yep.
You know, when we were deciding what to watch, is I will never watch that movie.
Yes, you did say that. And I honestly I literally had like 3 to 4 months to try to pick my film, and I couldn't think of what to do. I wanted to do something that none of us had seen before, and I don't think none of you guys had seen that, right?
Oh, I felt like I saw that when it came out in theaters.
1977.
Yeah, I was in a Turkish bathhouse. That was in the background. It was exciting.
Well,
I don't know if I fucking saw now.
yeah, we'll get
like-
in. We'll
It's
get
like
into that.
Jodorowsky's Turkish Star Wars.
It's like a fucking fever dream. It
Yeah.
really was crazy. So we'll talk about that later on. But And then also we got some feedback later on, and Dynamo's going to talk a little bit about Kingsman and about Matthew Vaughn, and I'm sure we've got some other stuff coming up. Let me go ahead and introduce everyone first. I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for the Deadites and Trick or Treat Radio. We also have the immortal gunslinger, singer, and lyricist for the Deadites. He's broadcasting from the crypt and Tiny's mansion, Dynamo Mars.
Hello.
Dynamo, why have you joined Tiny? Were you guys on a monster hunting excursion or something?
No, he is in the minority of the show.
Whoa.
Where's I don't fucking hate him.
Oh,
Whoa.
That's a little harsh.
you called him a minority?
Yeah, you're in that minority too.
That's code for blowjob.
He's Caucasian. He's tiny white.
Yeah. That means that Wife and Shadow's in a minority too if it's code for blowjob.
We also have the katana-wielding, synth-hoarding, snowboard-planing, snow maze building, mask-wearing composer, and songwriter for the Deadites, Tiny White.
So good. This snow though up here is too much even for me. I can't do shit with this. I can't do anything with it.
You can't even make a maze?
No, I can't make a labyrinth in this snow.
No, you literally could. You'd get lost in the labyrinth as you're making it.
I might. It's just I don't have the intentional fortitude for that.
The Red Queen told me that the roads in
Roads.
right-
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
in like Brighton and Watertown right now are actually like a maze. Like there's just 8 feet of snow piled up on either side, no sidewalks.
Yeah, it's insane.
Roads, where we're going, Tiny has a roads.
I do.
Yeah.
73 suitcase.
It's nice.
It
Does
is
look a
nice.
I don't know if you've rearranged it a different way, but it does look a little sparse down here from when I
Yeah,
was down here.
I was trying to slim down a little bit. I need a better workflow.
I'm sorry I got
I
fat.
should have shaved a little bit.
I'm sorry that I got fat. I will slim down.
This is the song that I'm going to rap, rock, and sing with you.
How about from this
I'm
angle?
sorry I got fat. I will slim down. I was wondering when I told Tiny and Tiny Wife that upstairs how long it would take for that to integrate.
Exactly. Yep.
into you. Now, like once he is in your conscious, like I've literally ended legit fights I've been having with people, like arguments with you can whip a policeman's ass with a belt.
I fucking love Wesley Willis. The guy is Willow, and will always be a genius.
Yeah. Like he was very good friends with Ethan McGloofabitz, and we had a long talk about some of the great memories of having that guy.
About headbutts.
Like at the house. He'd come up for a show and be up there for a few days, till somebody came and fucking got him.
I am absolutely
Till he got
positive
kicked out.
that guy's testicles are bigger than Zero's too. we played a show with him at the Lucky Dog, and
I booked him 2 or 3 times.
He had sweatpants on. The front of his sweatpants were hanging down about a foot from the chair that he was sitting on.
10-pound bowling balls would be on the shower.
Literally, I won't exaggerate. It looked like there were a pair of like sun-kissed oranges in his.
They were bigger than that.
They might have been.
Guys, this is big. We found out that Wesley Willis and Ray Bradbury have something in common.
I think that Wesley Willis's balls were the size of Ray Bradbury.
That's possible.
It really looked like 2 candlepin bowling balls in his pants.
That's actually about the size candlepin bowling balls. Yeah.
He brought up NCW style brown steel chair to sit on that was completely fucking bent forward like Balls Mahoney hit somebody with its style
right.
like after the performance. On one night he shifted more because Tiny made him furious on 2 occasions.
Not on purpose.
No,
that didn't go well.
He fucking hated you.
So let me catch up in the chat room real quick. We have my boy Rocky hanging out and Belial Lovett hanging out.
Oh, Snoop, Belial.
Yep.
Belial.
RB.
I said that we were live, and Rocky says, nope, you all look pretty dead on my side. Or maybe that's just my pasty mask suntan.
Is that a picture of... That looks like Joe Thoreau getting... the first picture...
Oh,
like,
shit, it really does.
I think it is.
Of what? What are you guys talking about?
This looks like Joe Thoreau and Wesley Willis giving headbutts.
It really
in
does.
this
Wow,
movie.
that's weird.
Nice.
That's weird.
We also...
We may have a picture of the sweatpants. Oh no, they're not.
They're not as bad, but this is bad. His gut is out. Why is his gut out?
I don't know. He's wearing a half shirt. He literally is.
What are they looking at?
Wesley Willis.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
So
fine.
So elated.
Belial says, "Shit, MonsterZero's in the house today." MonsterZero.
I am.
Belial's excited.
Yeah. Hey, I'm excited to see Belial.
This must know that there's 1 inch of fresh snow on the ground, and surprised that he left his hole.
Jesus, he was a trooper. He was here. He was here 1st. We also have Rocky. Rocky says he opened for us back in '97. I assume he's referring to Wesley Willis.
Yeah,
Such a strange cat to hang out with when you're stoned. Rock over London, rock on Chicago. Wheaties, breakfast of champions.
Nice. He's a pretty crazy dude to hang out with.
At all. Yeah,
sober.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely, under no certain terms, told Tiny White that Wesley Willis is not a jukebox.
And then Nathan Coy-Vance Duke is hanging out in the chat room. He says, Raven Shadow, is your dog still assaulting your cat?
How do you know about that? Cody Vance Duke. Coy Vance. And, it's cold out.
It's cold out. It's cold out, baby.
Listen, my cat's got some nice hips.
Oh,
Soft.
my God.
Dog enjoys that.
All right, we also have the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, hot pocket loving, comic book reading nerd, and the official smoke machine for the Deadites, Michael Raven Shadow.
Oh, Bombaleo. And don't worry about it, Johnny. I got plenty of 8x10s over here.
Oh, Jesus. No. I'll be ripping those up. Be using those for kindling.
Ain't never giving a fuck. There you go.
Giants Don't Die, the limited
Belial.
edition.
Yep.
Belial coming your way.
Nice.
Michael Ledger.
No, Legend didn't want one.
He's going to
Wait a
get
minute,
one.
Hold on 1 second here. There is one thing of it that I wanted to bring up that I didn't forget.
Yes.
TW, did you hear that Wolfie was going to give free Michael Raven Shadow 8x10s when people bought our merchandise?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
said
bullshit.
if they wanted it. I wasn't going to just throw it in there.
No, at least like $4.
Yeah,
$4.
Put some money in the coffers. Keep the lights on. Keep the heat on.
It's just so backwards. We are promoting the guy who's supposed to promote us. Don't show me that.
You're welcome,
That's not
Tiny.
real. That's not real.
It is.
It's not real. His head looks
What?
totally superposed.
What are you guys talking about?
It's
No,
bad.
there's a Wesley
That's
Willis
not real,
picture where
though.
his boobs are just hanging right
I've
down the side of
unfortunately
his body.
seen him pretty naked, and that's not real.
Wow, wow.
You're calling Photoshop?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, somebody photoshopped Wesley Willis's head on a
Look at
fat
how
guy's body.
Look how normal length. Look at how normal length his neck is. Like
I
his neck
know.
would have to be really long.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
We also have.
I think I could look at pictures of Wesley Willis pretty much for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it never gets old.
The
No,
Wesley
it's-
Willis Dog Show.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't get sick of listening to him like ever now that he's like come back
Mhm.
like into my thinking. Like it never gets old.
I think I'm ready for that again too.
Oh.
Definitely.
The vampire birds killed his ass at last. He was burning in the lake of fire. He was burning like a motherfucker.
Lastly, we have the vulgar guru of horror, cast member of Morbid Vision Films, contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster fucking Zero.
Yes, and I have my I have my autographed
Shadow.
photo of Raven Shadow.
What is it, personalized?
I wish, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why can't you personalize these bitches?
Give me a pen.
All right.
Give me a pen.
I don't have a pen.
I got a
on me.
marker.
Somebody
What do you
give me
need?
a pen.
Pen or a marker? Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Personalize it, will you?
So that's who's on the show. I've already talked about what we're doing. We had a couple contests 2 weeks ago. We gave our XSplit prize to our boy DeHart, who was the winner of the contest. So DeHart, if you're out there listening, if you do end up doing something, let us know. We'll check it out,
Yeah,
my
I'm
man.
excited.
Yeah, whether it's a live thing or not, or to tape, let us know. We'll check it out. And we'll promote it on the show for you entering the contest. And Dynamo, we also have to put together a prize pack for Myra. You thinking about that?
Hey, no.
I think about Myra all the time.
Are you just going to jump out of a cake and surprise her?
Oh, I think we all know what we can give her.
What?
What?
I don't know.
You son of a bitch.
I think we all know.
And I think I know that she'll very quickly return.
I'll know. If you could please tell me, I will know as well.
Yeah, Zero was just accidentally really lascivious and just totally backed out.
Yeah. That was good.
I'm surprised. Though I may have been less available this week than normal. I am surprised that I didn't get accused of any sort of favoritism or nepotism or anything in the same.
Well, for the contest?
Yeah.
Well, for everyone that entered, we did the random number generator. So
there you go.
And she bought a lot. So
yeah, she did actually. She probably bought more than anyone. And actually, let me just take this moment. I want to thank people for using the link, because even though there's a delay in payment, I think it's a 2 to 3 month delay until we actually see that money. The last 2 months, the podcast hosting will be paid for with Amazon purchases.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So last month we had a lot of content. I think we ended up doing like 18 hours. So we pay by the hour basically. So last month it was a little bit more expensive, but we had a really strong month because of Christmas and people getting gift certificates and whatnot. So I just want to thank everybody for using the link. Because like I said, for January and February already, we're only halfway through, or we're almost through February. Those 2 months are basically paid for. So the podcast hosting has been paid for with your help. So
thank you.
If we can keep this up,
the fuck out of Amazon.
Yeah,
this last 3 months,
Dynamo,
tiny white amounts of money.
Yeah, Dynamo did spend
That's bad.
a lot. So if you folks do use Amazon, we don't have a contest going on right now, but we'll probably do another one, because that was pretty awesome and we had a good turnout. But if you do use Amazon, what you can do is go to trickortreatradio.com and just look at the site and scroll down, find the Amazon link. What you can do is right click that image, save link as, or copy link, or whatever it is, and then put that in your book, save a bookmark. And anytime you go to Amazon, just click that bookmark and we get credit for, a tiny little bit. So once again, it definitely helps, because the podcast has been paid for the last 2 months. So
yeah, Tiny will appreciate this. I bought so many omnibuses that they made me come get them at the post office.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're like 13 pounds a piece.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like I bought I bought one that had a Frank Miller omnibus in it in Big Fat Sin City, and because of the driveway, it wasn't bad. It wasn't any worse, but because of the snow being what it was, and that it wouldn't fit in my mailbox, they were like, we really didn't know what to do with this otherwise.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
So, but I got lots to read.
So thank you to everybody for helping out, and continue to use the Amazon link. It's on the front page of trickortreatradio.com. And also thanks to our sponsors, XSplit. They are awesome.
It feels really good too. Like, I don't know if it feels as good for everyone else, but for other, when I would do that for other shows, it's really neat, because it's like, I really want this thing, right? And now, something I love, like Outside the Cinema, is getting that, money.
Yeah, a little bit.
So like, I really like it. It feels good. Like, trust me, you'll feel good. You get a little flutter.
Yes, you get these little butterflies.
But we can see what you buy, though.
We can,
which is it's a little weird.
But we don't know. We don't know who purchases what, Tiny.
Okay, that's good.
So it's just a list of items that have been purchased.
You can figure it out from our fan base, though.
Nice.
Like 200 Hawaiian shirts. Where do you think that?
Death Rattle Aaron.
One Harry Potter dildo.
Yeah. You know what was weird is the lacy panties with the custom Myra embroidered on them, but they were size 40. Men's 40, which is really strange.
I don't know who that could have been, though. That's a tough one.
Where those went. Yeah. Really, really weird.
I have nothing to back this up, but I suspect that those are uncomfortable. The M digs into the bottom of my gut.
Raven Shadow. Nathan Coy Vance Duke says, I re-listened to an old episode yesterday in which MZ says he saw the dog forcing the cat to vibe with it.
The cat was asking for it, dude. He was laying there licking his paws. What do you expect?
Turned him on, man.
Yeah. He's got big furry hips. It's exciting.
And Rocky says, raise money by offering up Raven Shadow's face nest for warmth to small families.
How's Rocky feeling?
Yeah, Rock.
Okay, Rock?
Yeah, let us know in the chat room, Rock. I know you're going through some medical stuff. Hopefully everything's going all right.
HMO.
He's in Canada.
You don't have that?
I don't know.
Yeah. How's that free healthcare working out?
What I want to know,
sometimes you get what you pay for.
How's that working out for you, eh?
I'm just curious if he's ever going to regret having a vagina.
What? What?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Those things are sweet.
Yeah,
It's good.
sweet.
I would miss my panas.
We're hoping you're feeling better, eh?
I don't think there's not much I love more than when MonsterZero thinks he's funny.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, it makes me laugh too. But
Funny
like
looking.
when he makes himself laugh, that's good business.
It is. It is.
It's exciting.
And then Rocky, so he says, very groggy and on some major meds, but I'm alive and full danger 5.
Nice.
Nice.
Good.
He says, fuck you, buddy. My healthcare is awesome.
Take your meds, Rock. You know, I hate the fucking guys who are like, oh, I got a script for Vicodin, but I'm not using it. Fucking really, asshole? Take your Vicodin, Rock. It's fun.
Yeah. Vicodin B, Vicodin B12.
Yeah. A couple of Heinekens.
I usually use it later. Is that bad to say? Like I usually use it
Vicodin C.
recreationally.
No, that's fine too. That's fine. There's a fine contingent of folks that use their pain meds for fun.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
They just kind of brave through the actual illness and then just use the meds afterwards.
Yeah,
This
like
is
it's some
common knowledge.
ibuprofen.
There are only 2 types of pain, and I think Tiny's known me not long enough, certainly, and seen me hurt enough to back this up, that really fucking slow me down. Tooth pain, like tooth pain, I will let you like mainline anything directly into the spot that hurts if it's hurting, and stomach ailments. Like those 2 things I can't fucking handle, but otherwise, like, you know, the Vicodins are much more fun when my leg is not broken and I can walk around.
Vicodin is fun, but man, morphine is the fucking shit.
You know,
I love morphine. That stuff is unbelievable.
I love morphine.
It might be a testament to good living. I will tell you, another maybe somebody else has had and they can back me up, but like when my gallbladder got infected, I have never, and my appendix exploded, and I walked around for like 4 days with it. That's the type of fucking weird, not feeling pain, dead cell motherfucker I am. But like I literally was crying like a woman, like weeping, like uncontrollably. Like there's a particular like reference that I'm thinking of, like it's like a movie I wouldn't normally watch, but like a woman holding their dead child, like.
That sounds like exactly like a movie you'd watch.
Fry green tomatoes.
Yeah, like I
Off
was
the
like
Lifetime
like,
channel.
Yeah, I was like totally like weeping, like I would, like it was awful. And they gave me morphine a lot, and it didn't even cut into the pain.
No shit. Wow.
A little. Like I tell you, if something happens with your gallbladder and you can't fix it immediately, just kill yourself.
Wow.
Rocky says he's on Jodorowsky's Trick or Treat Radio right now. He says, you all sassy and vibrant.
Real quick, because I'll forget. I've been wanting to tell this story since we've started the show. But while I was having my gallbladder out, there was like an incident right in front of me where a drunk guy who they bring into their room took a policeman's gun out of their holster. And I was just lying there like doped up and like helpless.
Wow. That's really
It was
impressive.
amazing. Like just like this ruckus. And I'm like, what is like? It's like I was seeing it like a dream, right? And I asked like somebody the next day. You know, I was like, they gave me my discharge papers, and I was like, can I ask you a question? And they're like, yeah. Did a drunk guy get a hold of a firearm and run him? Like, yeah, that happened. That happened. He didn't get any shots. He like took the whole holster off the belt, I guess, or something. Like, so the gun was still like.
How the hell do you do that?
He stripped the entire cop down, put his uniform.
And the other thing I had never seen, I have, but in a long time I had not seen like a real life policeman's like firearm, and they look like toys now. Like
It's probably a Glock, right?
like it had like some sort of orange like coating on it.
Maybe it was a toy.
Could have been. That's not safe then. Well, it was safe then. I was glad for it then.
Was it a taser?
No,
Was it a
because
blazer?
the policeman behind him, I didn't see it, and I don't remember hearing it really, but I did see like I could see his hand through the thing, like tased the shit out of that guy.
Nice. That's awesome.
So,
That's a freaking awesome thing to see when you're freaking drugged up in the hospital.
and like literally, so they pull, and then they fucking chain him to a bed, and I'm stuck
and raped him.
No, they chained him in the room that was supposed to be my room that they had prepped for me. Like I was supposed to sleep this fucking thing off, right? So I was in front of this room where this guy was chained, drunk, crazy, saying real like chop top Bill Mosley shit all night. It was fucking amazing. Like like the devil made me drink.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive. Was that
And like all I could
that
do
was
was
Worcester?
Yeah, and the place where they still forward my mail, UMass on the lake there. And I had to lay on my side for some reason. I remember, maybe I just was. So it was me.
Lay
and
on your side, boy.
It was me and this dude staring longingly into each other's eyes all night. It was bad times. You're like
Nice.
crazy, like rip the mask off the devil, like crazy
Wow.
dildos and shit.
All right. Well, I think we need to move on. Go to a break, Raven Shadow. Your favorite part, right?
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
go.
too.
So we're gonna go to a break, and then after that, we're gonna review What We Do in the Shadows.
Smoke butts.
Smoke butt. So,
Take our pants off.
Raven Shadow, what do you do when you're watching a vampire mockumentary? What should people do to get ready for this review during the break?
Good question, John. What I would do is, put a couple of Mama Celeste pizzas in a microwave. You know.
What if there's garlic in them, though?
No. Why don't you get a pepperoni and a sausage?
Okay.
And that's fun.
Well, Wolfie won't eat that crap.
Yeah, I won't eat that crap.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to fucking Wolfie.
He'd rather have a nice wheatgrass drink.
Yeah, I'm talking to fucking real people.
Fucking
okay?
hippie.
Real people and Draculas. All right?
Dracula.
All them Draculas.
Yep.
Get your trench coat. Get a trench coat on like Corey Haim wore in The Lost Boys.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe get some beer.
Beer?
A couple of beers.
Beers?
Light some
Vampires?
candles.
Draculas drink beer?
Get Dracula. What are you gonna do? You're gonna live forever. Get your fucking drink on, and then put some wood in the fire and watch a little mockumentary. That's exciting.
All right, well, everyone go do that. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to talk about What We Do in the Shadows.
Don't strap on.
Scary story. Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
This is Matt Kennedy of Astron 6. You might know me as Manborg. You might know me as Father John Sullivan in Father's Day. But what's important right now is that you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
I'm Ruby Burble.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
I can tell you I'm never coming back on this show. Especially now that I did that thing that you just made me do. Which I will be sending you an invoice for.
And we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. I'm all alone in the studio right now. It's very
We had a
lonely.
music drop.
Yeah, no, I was going to apologize for the dead air. I forgot to cue up a song. That was my bad. My B, I forgot to cue up a song. I actually
That was actually a deliberate moment of silence for Captain Lim.
That's it. That's exactly what it was. I actually was going to ask for. I couldn't remember if we have a song about Dracula's, and I was going to play an appropriate song leading into this, but I forgot to ask, and that's why there was That's why there was dead air for a few moments.
What's the closest? Look to the Sky, maybe. There's mention of it in there. We don't talk about Dracula as much.
Is that Look to the Sky? Yeah, it is, isn't it? We don't. That was Tiny Wife liked Draculas.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The fucking joke's on me in 2015, I guess, because I want to fucking slap zombies with my wang, but and I've seen like a bunch of really great vampire films in the last like 6 or 8 months. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got 0001. Is that how you say it? Double. I guess he's quadruple 01. Michael Ledger. He was the first person to place an order for a T-shirt on our new merch site. So thank you to Ledger for doing that. He's the first person, so now he's known as quadruple 01.
I am going to say thank you for Ledger for just being awesome.
Yeah, that dude's the best.
Ledger hates you.
It's not gonna stop me from making I didn't know that we had quadruple X shirts joke. But I do love that dude.
They were only double X.
He's good. He's good.
Really, a double X wouldn't even fit me.
Some good book recommendations from him too.
It's funny. He like I have the utmost respect for Ledger, so everything he recommends I check out. But like I was realizing today that our friend Brian Kokonak that we still turn to for things, like it's so much easier now because he'll say something and I will look it up on the internet. But like I used to have like a little notebook that I would like just jot down like shit that he said and like then try to figure out what it was or where it came from or what it was in like the pre-internet times like that. Like that kid is still like the go-to for fucking, I don't know how he does it. Like he inevitably introduces something to me that I didn't know what it is that I really enjoy. Like it's outrageous.
Yeah, I actually just started a book from Brian that Brian recommended today, The Postmortal. Pretty good. So far, so good. I
would love to get him on. I don't know if he's like, none of us do because his input has become so weird and obviously infrequent, but Brian Kokonak, to his importance for the Deadites, is not only the person who showed me Depeche Mode, he is the person who showed me Clive Barker. So
truth, yeah,
like you
truth.
can't get more important. He's a first ballot Deadites Hall of Famer.
So since he turned you on to a book, why don't we go ahead and try to turn?
He has turned me on.
Yeah, and that too. Why don't we try to turn people on to a movie? That is if we liked it. So we're going to review first up What We Do in the Shadows. This film from 2014 is 86 minutes. It is a comedy horror, and it was directed and written by Jemaine Clement and Taika Waititi, and it stars those two, Jemaine Clement and Taika Waititi, Jonathan Brew, Corey Gonzalez Masur, I think it's maybe how you say it.
Masur Tanaka?
Stuart Rutherford, Ben Fransham, and Rhys Darby. So
I love Rhys Darby.
I do too.
More than I love anything on the
I was so fucking happy to see him in this movie because I wasn't sure if he was going to be in it.
Me too.
So super happy. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis we have here. Viago, Deacon, and Vladislav are vampires who are finding that modern life has them struggling with the mundane, like paying rent, keeping up with the chore wheel, trying to get into nightclubs, and overcoming flatmate conflicts. It's a very specific. They could have been a little bit more general, I think. But yeah. So this is a mockumentary. This is sort of in the spirit of Spinal Tap and some of the other Christopher Guest joints, like Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show and stuff. So, and it's from, if you're not familiar with their names, Jemaine Clement was Jemaine from Flight of the Conchords, and Taika Waititi was the writer for the show, or one of the creators. So these two are mostly responsible for Flight of the Conchords, and Taika Waititi has done a bunch of other stuff too, like Eagle versus Shark, which I thought was really good. Boy, and he's done a couple other things as well, but he's written a lot of stuff as well. So this is let's jump into this. Does anyone have? I mean, it's sort of like it's a mockumentary, so there is a narrative, but it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't lead the story.
Yeah.
The lives of these vampires is sort of what leads it. And first of all, let me just say I love that each character portrays a vampire from a different era.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's clever.
Thought that was really genius to do that. And the origin stories I thought were really cool the way they did them, like with the sort of montage. Very, very cool. And I think we talked about this a little bit with Iceman a few weeks ago, which we obviously didn't review very favorably. But, you have the time travel thing where Donnie Yen and these other characters are sent, they're basically in the present day and, snowboarders from the Ming Dynasty in present day.
Because Hong Kong invented snowboard.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
So how do they deal with it? But
Fuck.
in this we have Viago, Deacon, Vladislav, and also they forgot to mention Peter.
I loved
He's
Peter.
Yeah. So these four, they're flatmates living in New Zealand.
18 months.
18 months.
Despite the fact that like it was a real photos,
Mhm.
like is I don't know what he's very dark skinned in real life. And they made him very pale.
It says he's of.
Massacre these names.
Let me see you try.
Yeah.
He hails from the Raku Core.
Like a Polynesian descent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
That'd be fair to say.
one now.
Thank you, Tiny. Thank you.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough. But it's
So he definitely. But you're right, Dynamo. They made him look very washed out and white. And
Very Caucasian.
very
They
Caucasian.
made him
Yeah.
look like Zach from Gremlins.
I love it.
White like me. You can take it. What?
If I get, I'm gonna outdraw Michael Shadow right now and call this
And Lestat type and the other one.
The other one. The modern vampire.
The modern vampire.
Yeah.
Like a Cassidy or not actually if a modern day Dracula was like on the Jersey Shore. The one that was running amok causing chaos in the bar.
Maybe.
not like Jersey Shore. I don't think.
Yeah, I think they were trying to just, allude to vampire mythology nowadays. Like, I've never seen the Twilight films, but I imagine, like, something along those lines or, I don't know. A more
They
modern
write
take.
That particular character really good though, because he reminded me a lot of Dave from Flight of the Conchords.
Mm-hmm.
That type of character that's so fucking confident that people who are incompetent don't realize how incompetent he is.
Right. Yeah. So we first see them and they're basically, it's funny because they're arguing about chores, fucking vampires, like arguing about who's going to do the dishes and
I
how
fucking love that shit.
Deacon
Yeah.
hasn't done the dishes in 5 years.
I love how he woke up with his coffin and
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. And then one of them, I can't remember which character said this, but I wrote the quote down, "Let's get some slaves." Like one of them.
right.
Favorite part of the flick when they're going out to the club and
You're jumping ahead, aren't you?
Okay, well.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, they're Draculas. They can't see each other in mirrors. They don't know what they're dressing like, but they're all trying to like.
Yeah,
get
drawing
their
little.
gear
Yeah, they're
on.
drawing pictures of each other and trying to figure out how well they look and everything like that. And there's a lot of really clever bits in this that very, very funny stuff. Like I forget which two characters it was, but where they were mimicking Pac-Man in front of the mirror.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I'm so surprised that you guys liked this. The two people who usually sit on my side of the table, because I know at least one of you are not a Flight of the Conchord fan, and this is like that humor in the way that a Tarantino movie is a Tarantino movie. Like, it just is flat out it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk, I know of Flight of the Conchords. I have not really. It's not been my milk.
Because you were furious the day we were all excited about it, so that's why I thought you didn't like it. Like, you were mad.
You know, I mean, I could do the joke. I like Flight of the Conchords better when it was Tenacious D.
Jesus Christ, come on.
But no, I honestly, I'm not.
I would
I'm
fight you over that.
I would fight you too.
I could punch you right now.
Yeah, please
Very
do.
close. You get the reach. No. But I've just not seen it. But I did really enjoy this, and I don't know how we can review a comedy because so much of it is watching it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Why was that a problem for you?
It normally is.
Well, no, but like I didn't know anything about this. I didn't like what the fuck, In the Shadows, whatever the fuck. But this was very cute. It could have been like a SNL skit. You know what I mean? But done theatrical. I think it went
Wait,
a little bit
SNL is funny?
from a certain
it
time
was.
frame. A little bit long for me, but overall, I thought this was a brilliant take on
and
slightly.
And 45 minutes of the movie, only 20 minutes has passed. But the difference between my outlook on it and your ultimate outlook on it, what you turned out to be, is that I was laughing my ass off every goddamn minute in this movie.
Yeah.
There are so many great sight gags. The writing is absolutely clever.
So dense. It's so dense. Like I agree with you 100%. And I think a lot of it, we're watching the opening credit montage right now, and I think a lot of it is that there's a lot of character exposition in that opening, like just the way they dress and the way they ask and stuff. Like, like you feel like you get a lot in a short amount of time.
You do. You really do. And the montages of them living together through time, through the 40s, 50s, 60s, more modern era, but more, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And they're really rapidly edited. But there was one shot in there that I absolutely loved. And I paused it at just the right time so I could just watch it again. It was when Peter was doing that 1970s style elementary school class photo where they show where they show him in that one picture, then they show like that the other picture where he's looking off in the distance.
Yeah, the like shadowed profile.
Yeah, exactly. I was fucking dying from that. That was so goddamn funny and so goddamn brilliant. And I love the way this film is edited in terms of how the vampires flew. Not so much outside, but in their house. I just love. I mean, it was very simple. Cable and wires sort of deal. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of CGI technology to take maybe some of the cables out from the back or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, but it was edited so crisply. I just love the way the whole thing looked, and not to mention the fact the one who played Peter, Ben Francham, he was. I mean, you look at him. I was genuinely frightened by him when I first saw him. He was
as Peter, yeah.
He was. I gotta say, that is one of the scariest looking goddamn Nosferatus I've seen in a while.
What he gave him the bunny? He gave him the bunny in the morning.
Very effective.
I fucking lost it. It was fucking. This is the best Dracula flicks is Lost Boys.
There's a Lost Boys reference in this.
There was,
yeah.
Several.
Raven Shadow, by the way, Dracula is a person.
No, aren't they all Draculas?
They're all vampires.
Vampires. Dracula is a vampire.
What's a Dracula?
Vampire.
No shit.
Jesus Christ. But the point I was trying to make about we're referring to Iceman is it's very easy to basically have a stranger in a strange land and have it be really bad, But I think the mundane discussions they have are made so much more ridiculous because they are vampires. Like talking about doing the dishes, like it's just so fucking funny. They're like hissing at each other and it's
dishes are piling up in the sink for the past 5 years. Nobody's done a goddamn
and they're all
dish.
goblets. And they get up and like start flying around like
bat fight.
And they also throw in every vampire trope that you could think of. The only one that they didn't as and somebody correct me on this is the garlic. I don't think anybody mentioned any garlic, which kind of surprised me.
They had Silver. There was a couple other ones. Yeah, you're right.
Silver, the sun,
cross, the sun. Yeah, but they didn't do garlic, which,
Yeah, like when he was when he was. I think it was I forget who it
Deacon's
was.
knitting.
Yeah, he's a
When Vlago was putting the silver necklace around him, and next thing you know, the damn thing starts smoking on his chest.
Yeah.
I love Deacon's.
So
I want to dress like everyone in this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Might be the gas of Trick or Treat Radio.
Maybe we'll have to do. Maybe for Halloween we'll dress as Tiny can be Stu.
There's no one in this movie to get any mileage out of that prison jumpsuit and afro that MonsterZero is capable wearing every Halloween and saying that it's a different costume.
That's true.
And also,
I'm Lindsay Lohan.
I love all the little. You were bringing up the personal conflicts that they have with each other, but I also love the professional. I guess, for lack of a better word, bloopers or fails that they have, like when one of them was trying to converge the girl over into vampirism, and he bites her neck and ends up hitting a major artery, and she dies right there.
Yeah.
Squirting.
Blood is all over the place. So, I mean, it's funny because you don't think of those sort of things when you're watching like a real vampire flick, where you would think that the way you would change somebody from a person to a vampire is by biting on the neck, and everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
They never show little mistakes that might happen here and there where the whole thing just falls apart.
Or the one motherfucker that puts down the newspapers
Yeah.
to do the blood.
There's Rocky posted in the chat room from Flight of the Conchords episode 3, the hip hopopotamus, which
I love
is fucking amazing.
I listen to Flight of the Conchords like people listen to just
Oh yeah.
like that's why I like Tenacious D, but it's a comedy thing. That's where it lives and dies.
Yeah.
But Flight of the Conchords stuff comes on my shuffle and it stays.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
They're fantastic musicians, great songwriters.
Aren't they supposed to be coming back?
There was a rumor, but it got debunked. But now the rumor might be back again. Oh, this is great when he's practicing shooting his bow and arrow, and he hits Viago in the leg.
This makes me want to check out Flight of the Conchords.
It's fucking great. This is the same kind of humor.
If then I'm on board. I can't. Before I lose my thought. Did anyone else catch the Swingers riff when they're walking through from the club and they come across the other group of
the werewolves
of all the
werewolves?
the werewolves?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, hope you don't get fleas." Like fuck you. Like it was at the scene in Swingers when.
Well, I don't think they were.
You don't think that was intentional?
Yeah, they might.
Not swingers. I mean.
But they reference the Lost Boys. They reference stuff like it was clearly that scene.
It's possible.
I mean, Swingers is definitely one of the quintessential vampire movies.
Yeah.
Along with
Vince Vaughn looks the fucking same as he did in '97 as 2007.
I will tell you this. I won't say which one of our friends in Deadites crew alumni was the Jon Favreau's character in Swingers, but me and Ethan McGloofus lived with him for a while, and
right.
His name is.
I fucking
Robust
lived
Fleischman.
Swingers for a little while.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not sure you know this, but people call me Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Ledger says in the chat room, I don't know how I feel about the fact that Raven Shadow may have actually watched this flick. And Rocky says he was wanting some Draculas.
I'm just gonna put this out here because I feel like it's the type of grandiose thing that's honest, but I might forget to say it before somebody makes me fucking mad. I think that this is the best mockumentary that I have ever seen other than that's not Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair.
It's they just started flying up into the air.
It's funny too. We're living through kind of a cool comedy renaissance that's very similar to the one that we grew up with, where you have this group of music like the crew that Christopher Guest and those guys coming off Spinal Tap, and we also have the Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright group of people who are doing these great essential riffs on friendship like Ghostbusters and the Blues Brothers and stuff like that.
Peter,
Everything. Talking to you right now. Where's Rocky from?
Toronto, Canada.
No shit. All right, Canada. Rocky.
You know what? I can't tell if he's giving me a slanted compliment or he just doesn't know what fairly means.
What, Chris Farley?
Because you said I was fairly accurate.
No. I like everything you did. I for the most part, agree with. I just want to take it back to Rock.
Everything you've done to date, I more or less agree with.
It's pretty okay.
Moving on to other
Moving on.
subjects.
I agree with everything you said. I would say that I'm about maybe 80-20 on everything.
Kind of 60-40 where I'm saying that. I'm going to pause on Dynamo, which you're fairly correct. And that was fucking funny as fuck. Rock, you said CB4. My brother, Fear of a Black Hat.
Yeah.
So much better than CB4.
It is better.
Okay, so I would go Spinal Tap, CB4, Christopher Guest, Running Amok, and this joint.
Christopher Guest running amok.
Yeah, all his fucking
So you
flicks.
didn't mention Spinal Tap.
So you
I feel I
mentioned
did.
twice then.
But no, there's like Spinal Tap.
It's like waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for Guff, waiting for all the motherfuckers.
I'm going
Which
to
I
give you
think
some Guffman.
Waiting for
Which I
Johnny
think
to
is
show up, pick me up.
terrific, But I think that this is better. That
It's
this,
so good.
And like that, like their type of humor. What makes this so unique is everyone who did this after Spinal Tap was essentially doing that sort of humor.
Yeah. for sure.
Copying it.
And I think this has its own kind of like humor.
Yes.
And, like,
Everything
with
you
the-
said, I fairly agree with. Again.
Jesus.
This is like when I watch a movie on Subsonic and it jumps back, and I'm not sure if they're doing it on purpose or they're
We're watching the montage of pictures right now. That's why we're laughing. Holy shit. Jemaine is wearing, right before the title sequence, he's wearing the jacket that you've worn, Dynamo, that was given to us by Jonas Ivo.
Oh yeah.
He's wearing that exact jacket.
Nice.
So
I had a Jonas Ivo shirt on today.
nice.
Yeah, it was too constrictive to wear to work.
There's a couple quotes in here that I thought were hilarious, so I had to write down. One of them was, "If you're going to eat a sandwich, you wouldn't want it to have been fucked before, right?"
No, it's like if you make a sandwich, you'd like to know that no one had fucked it.
Yeah, because they're all about they ask people if they're virgins, so
Yeah.
that's their way to analogize it.
Yeah.
Kind of say that I love the fact that they made a point that all of the documentarians wore crucifixes and they agreed not to bite them.
Yeah.
My other favorite character was the one human they just liked a lot.
Stu.
And they wouldn't eat him.
Stu.
Yeah.
Stu was fucking awesome.
And they showed him the internet.
Yeah, he showed him how to use the internet and texting and what was it like? There was like a dating site or something like that, right?
There was that double, really great, typical Jemaine Clement double meaning part where he's like, "Just leave me. I want to stay here to do my bidding." And it's like, what is your bidding? Well, right now I'm bidding on a table.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's on the computer. Yeah.
There was one scene, I can't remember when it took place, but Vlad was turned into a cat. And so it was a cat with Vlad's face.
Jermaine's
Yeah.
face.
He had a problem with morphing.
Yeah, he couldn't morph correctly
He couldn't morph
anymore.
correctly.
And
This was the Shabbos shiznit, yo.
I wasn't sure where they were going when they had Deacon's familiar, his human sort of familiar, had brought over.
Oh, the chick.
Yeah, and they brought over the couple. I don't know if they were a couple, but he brought the two people for dinner, and they did that whole Lost Boys, thing with the spaghetti,
The noodles.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know where they were going with that. But I actually really liked 20 minutes in, we see they turn a vampire. They turn Nick. Was that his name, right? Nick. They turned him into a vampire, and
Crazy.
I just liked how we got to see it from a new perspective, because it's like they went far with this joke, and they honestly could have taken it even further, but I like that they sort of like introduce a new element to it,
Floating cup.
and I just thought that was really genius, and that obviously helped move the narrative along a little bit more as well. But and then referencing when they meet up with the werewolves.
Yeah.
And one of the best quotes is, "We're werewolves, not swearwolves."
Werewolves, yeah.
Only that guy could get away with that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly.
Werewolf.
This movie has got such a razor sharp wit to it. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
Now-
it's absolutely phenomenal.
In the same way Flight of the Conchords kind of was, like in the same way that Spinal Tap was, where this is wholly original, I have to think with some of the people that were involved in there, the fact that they're kind of part of a larger thing, like there was a portion of this that was ad-libbed, like they were
Oh yeah,
probably seen.
I
Oh,
suspect
this couldn't
so.
be
Yeah.
scripted. This couldn't be.
I think so. I think they had a rough idea, and I think,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do. Like the best mockumentaries seem to be a lot of that, where a lot of it's off the cuff, So I have a feeling that a lot of this was definitely off the cuff.
Especially the longer scenes. Not so much, a couple exchanges here and there, but I
Yeah.
think the scenes that are more drawn out, those are the ones that have more of an ad lib feel to them.
Because it feels very spontaneous. It's not.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel scripted.
Like they have an actual rapport.
And
watching this without sound, Flight of the Conchords ahead of them is very so sharp, but you're not looking at how great it looks while you're seeing the film
Yeah.
at least
Yeah, I
the first
agree.
time.
Yeah.
But watching it right now, this film looks fucking great at night. Like it
Did
is
anybody
awesome.
paying attention to any of the score? Did anybody ever notice a score on this, or was there a score on this? I don't even know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was all stolen from.
I don't know that they had
Listening to as far as any.
use Bundle of Sticks in this.
Do they
Yep.
The dictionary, my friend.
The
Yeah, that was
Right.
that was really awkward.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
we gotta go.
And then I think it was Viago was when they were getting
It
ready
was
for.
really well.
We can't go to the masquerade
Out of that though, which again was so flight.
because there's not really to talk about. Girl, he picked up a girl and
That's when the bad times happen.
yeah, he's putting paper down. He's about to bite her. This is something, and Dynamo, maybe, I mean, I guess everyone can relate to this, but this seems like something that I could see Psycho and Fausto have made 20 years ago.
Yeah, they are the like. I'm actually like. We're very, 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 very young into the process of it, but I actually tapped those guys to help me work on something. And the reason being is that I feel like I'm pretty okay with a certain kind of comedy, but there is a comedy that those two do that is so hard. And it's a visual comedy, just like you said, 100%, the scene right here, and a situational comedy where when they tell you it, you can't believe that you haven't seen it before.
Right.
Because it's so obvious. I had written a screenplay I was really proud of called Elgato versus Jesus Christ. And I went a run through with Psycho Patrick after the fact, and he added two of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, including one of them is a meeting that they were having. Like they were meeting someone at a restaurant, and Elgato, the Mexican wrestler, gets a Big Mac, and he can't eat it through his mask. So while everyone else is talking, the whole scene is just Elgato trying to get this Big Mac into the like just shit like that. That I just think about it and I howl. While I didn't pick up on that, I definitely agree 100%.
Yeah.
And I think that the humor that this organization uses in general is very, very similar to what those guys write too, because just Fausto in general, his kind of way that he is very much like Murray almost, it's just really, really funny. I'm so excited to be working with those guys, and of all the balls that I have in the air every year, as an example, I had 10 things going last year, and the Depeche Mode tribute came out. It's just kind of the nature of the beast when you're not doing things with money. I really hope what I'm doing with them happens because they're so fucking brilliant. And if I die the day after it comes out, having brought that humor that I've been so privy to the world, means that I'll have accomplished something awesome. And we're alone.
Who's alone? No, we're just quiet. We're watching in here. You guys holding hands when you do it?
Huh?
You guys holding hands?
Wrong down.
What now would you use?
Cock.
Oh.
Sorry, I panicked. Let's go to commercial.
You realize that this restraining order is self-imposed, right?
Treat.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think we need to go to the spoiler section. I honestly don't think there's much we need to. I mean, there's a couple things at the end we could spoil, but I just don't think it's even necessary.
Yeah.
You can't. It's all in the comedy.
Yeah.
The less said about this, the better.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
The actual story of the movie doesn't really begin until like the last third of the film.
Right.
So I mean, it's really just one running joke after another. But it's so
It's strung together so well.
It's so well put together.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense till you see it.
At 90 minutes or however long it is, it definitely managed like it. And me and MonsterZero touched on this earlier. It did that same thing that Flight of the Conchords did. That when it ends, I wanted more.
Yeah, it's 86 minutes, and I honestly could have watched 3 hours of this. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If there's like extras on the Blu-ray or whatever, I definitely would be into watching that and picking that shit up. Just before this passes too far, Ledger says, "Is he promising that he'll die if he does something worth accomplishing?" Let's direct to you, Dynamo. I think.
Huh?
Ledger asks if you're promising that you'll die if
I
you
think
do
Ledger
something
really, really likes you.
Yeah, you know what's funny about it is that Ledger doesn't realize that my life is in such fucking disarray right now that I am like one like wrong glance from somebody away from sleeping on his couch forever. So he probably shouldn't be, you probably shouldn't help my cause any.
Yeah. So anyone have anything else before we go to the verdict?
Let's do it.
All right, let me get the music up here.
Bring up the Busta.
Yeah, we'll bring up the Busta. Is that like bring out the Gimp? Bring out the Busta. All right, let's do that. Let's bring out the Busta.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, time for the verdict. So, I'm sure if you're listening to the show, you probably listened before, but just in case, we try to do this every few episodes. What we do is we tell you whether we feel this film is a trick or a treat. Trick is bad, Raven Shadow, and a treat is good. So, why don't we go ahead and do the verdict? Why don't we, Raven Shadow, why don't we kick it off with you?
Good suggestion, Johnny.
I agree.
I never watched Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, we've established that, yep.
But if it's like this, I'm going to check it out. I had a great time with this. I had no idea what I was walking into. I will highly recommend this. Definitely top 10 candidate for 2015. Treat.
All right, there you go, MZ.
Throw away those copies of Love at First Bite and Vampire in Brooklyn and
Jim Carrey.
And Jim Carrey movies. All of them. Throw them all out and also get rid of Dracula Dead and Loving It because...
that's terrible.
Because, well, first of all those movies suck to begin with. And this is brilliant piece of filmmaking. It really is absolutely brilliant. I loved every minute of this film, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. It has high rewatchability value. Catch these little things that you don't see the first time around, second time around, third time around. You're just gonna love it.
We just saw Jemaine as the cat. I get a screenshot.
Yes. And it's absolutely hilarious.
I get a screenshot that.
The gags are well put together. The editing is really, really much better than you would think it would in a film like this. Absolutely fantastic, funny from very beginning to the very end, no question about it. And I agree with Raven Shadow. This is a potential top 10, without question. This is absolute treat.
Oh, the fucking picture. All right.
That's creepy looking, man.
Dynamo, how about you?
I meant what I said when I said the best mockumentary since Spinal Tap. So fucking good. So great.
So good.
So elated.
So elated. So
this
fine.
is the Shaun of the Dead of mockumentaries. Like this is gonna probably unfortunately revitalize the the genre.
I don't know if it needed revitalization. This is.
No, I think it did though.
Pretty
I think.
set.
Sorry, Tiny. You're brilliant. I'm cutting you off. Ask Dynamo, he'll tell you. But no, I think it's all the Spinal Tap formula where this changes the game a little bit, and this was fucking brilliant, right? Like it was fun.
Yep. Yeah, it may force people to make mockumentaries that are funny again. That's
Right.
a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely ups the ante. I'll agree with that.
I'm sorry, Dynamo. Did you said you
No,
said
this is a treat.
Yep. Okay.
There weren't a lot. And you guys are gonna kind of raise your eyebrows at this, but there weren't a lot of like laugh out loud, like hysterical moments in this movie for me. Like I did a lot of chuckling. I definitely did a lot of giggling and chuckling, but no like had to stop the movie because I was laughing too much. You know, like, it was very, very clever and very witty. But to me, it was more clever and witty than it was just hilarious and like laugh out loud funny. But still, you know, a super fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I will say in the same way of Flight of the Conchords, talk to me in 4 days, I bet, when you're still thinking of something that you may not have even thought was that funny.
Yeah, that's true. It is that type of movie. I agree, definitely. It's it definitely leaves a comic imprint on your brain after watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I LOL'd out loud quite a bit in this movie.
LOL'd out loud.
WTF.
I'm sorry, Tiny. Did you give the verdict?
Yeah, definitely a treat.
Okay. So for me, this was fucking hilarious. It certainly had a Flight of the Conchords sense of humor, and I'm a huge fan, so that was very welcome for me. I can use more of that in my life, especially since the show hasn't been on in years. This is very well made, very well conceived, and none of the jokes for me felt played out at all. Like it all felt fresh and funny. And even though they did some stuff maybe more than once, like it still was just right. Like it hit the sweet spot for me. Yeah. Especially I love the ones they did with the vampires being taught new technology by Stu. That's something that's been played out a lot of times, and this felt new and fresh and funny. And this is a hilarious, hilarious movie. We're watching Deacon do his interpretive dance right now.
I totally forgot about that part. A couple of dudes hanging out.
Yeah, watching interpretive dance.
Jesus.
Yeah. For me, this is an absolute treat. I fucking love this movie. And I watched this with T-Dog and the more interpretive dance. And we were laughing our asses off. There was a couple times when we did actually have to pause it, Tiny, like unlike one of vampire films,
Dracula's,
of comedy mockumentaries, Dracula's, Flight of the Conchords. They had a Kickstarter that just because they want to have so they're gonna have go check it out because this is the kind of film that you should have had. But yeah, it doesn't mean you need a good budget though to shoot a film well, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it helps.
I'll look it up right now and see if we can find out.
I'm not quite sure they need a Kickstarter. They're an Intimate Weekly. They get a B+. We're putting
Well,
over.
No,
Like,
yeah, but that
so
doesn't
funny.
give you money.
In the episode of the show that I just did that no one listened to except to make fun of me, there was a bit where someone asked. It was basically the crowdfunding conversation, and I used us as an example, and I obviously said that it was on a smaller scale, but we had a critically acclaimed record. It wasn't an Entertainment Weekly either, but it definitely got a lot of buzz in the areas that are important to horror people, and definitely, and even in this podcast community, was loved. And we got write-ups in press, we got write-ups in all different things, and we didn't sell very many records. Mm-hmm. And the reason is that we didn't have a promotional budget to do a proper release and a proper marketing campaign.
Big part of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. Like people who don't really know what it takes to put things out think that you get a review in something and it's important. But I know people that read all the same magazines as I do, including Entertainment Weekly, and those reviews aren't fucking part of the magazine. Mm-hmm. That's not while they're reading it. That stuff's like just static in the back, especially in Room Morgue. First thing I do is flip to the videodrome, the audiodrome, and the video release and the reissues. Like that's the first thing that I read. Mm-hmm. But I know with a lot of people, those reviews aren't even like a fucking thing. So like where people think that even these national reviews, even if this gets like some runs on television or wherever else, like that's not the same as a promotional budget.
Yeah, and typically these films, whenever they get a budget, they have to sink every dollar into the actual film.
Right.
Because I looked it up, in this film, the budget was $1.6 million, which really isn't much for a film these days. And it's amazing to see that they were able to do so much with what they had. But but they don't have a marketing budget in the States, and that's what the Kickstarter was for, was so they could actually market it and get
it's the heart. It almost in 2015, in the early 2000s, it took, you had to spend $100 to get 10 people to look at something. Now, somebody reliable has told me that you have to spend almost $2,000 to get a person to see it because of the amount of noise that's out there on the internet. So, and like, I know, because we looked into them, how much the ads in the magazines cost. I know, because we looked at them, how much the magazines in the appropriate, press outlets are. Forget about getting somewhere to play a trailer or anything like that, so it's fucking hard.
And plus, Kickstarter these days is as much a marketing tool as it is fundraising. It gets, people are sharing the link and getting it out there, and that also helps spread awareness. So I think it's twofold. Where
exactly, 100%, which is also something that the equally brilliant as you CDR said as well, and I agree 100%. Another thing he said that's interesting is that we are almost, and this is something very different for something interesting that we're able to see in our lifetime, and how the internet has affected the speed that things exist in, like. This is, when you look at how long it took for Facebook to burn out or MySpace or any of that stuff, like this crowdfunding thing has almost already hit critical mass.
Yeah, it took like a good probably 2 years in the public eye. Like Kickstarter's been around longer than that.
Yeah.
But it really gained, I'd say, household name probably about 2 years. So... And then it's already to the point where there's so much static already. It was very quick. So
it's outrageous, and you see that a lot. With a lot of different things. Like it's really weird. Like you have to. I know this because I got this job, and it's the craziest thing that happened. But you literally have to. We're literally at the point now where you have to put like what are those things called? EPMDs, like the stuff that. Like knocks out the electronics and everything else, like
an EMP.
We're almost at the point now where you're back to your promotion being like shaking hands and kissing babies again because there's so much shit out there. Like I work for a major corporation. I work for a smaller company that is now owned by like a major corporation, the same people that own the Bellagio chain and a few things. And like literally, that's what they had me out there doing.
They own the Deadites?
Fucking walking around. No, my arcade job. But they have me like walking around and like shaking hands and kissing babies, and it's outrageous to me that that's what it's come to,
Ledger says you fuckers owe me $2,000. And Rocky says that that he and his wife are dying to see this film, and he asks if it's on Netflix yet, and it's not. Rock, it's on VOD. It just hit VOD like I think a week or two ago. Actually, I think it was I want to say the 13th maybe. So this is on VOD, and it's going to have a theatrical release. So I imagine that means that if they do have a theatrical release, even if it's limited, that Netflix probably won't be for a little bit. Yeah. But who knows? I mean, like if Netflix throws enough money at them, maybe they would. So,
but no, get some takeout and get it on VOD.
Yeah, it's only a few bucks.
It's fucking cold.
It's well worth it.
It's very well worth it.
I know that Netflix is different, so I can only imagine that cable outlets, video on demand in different countries are different.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they may not have it.
In Canada, it's video on request. You can't actually demand to see.
Video on Ask Nicely.
Right. You can ask, but you may or may not get it.
Hey, can I watch that eventually, eh? You're going to have to, I get it.
That's good.
Fucking free healthcare.
On that note, I think we should cut to...
I'm going to get sick of the States, just saying.
We should cut to a break. That was a universal, across-the-board treat. So everyone...
That's the first one in a long time.
Yeah.
I think so.
Microsoft Word, son.
Everyone needs to go check this out. All right, we need to cut to a break. We need to calm down. We need to set the scene for Turkish Star Wars. And I think MZ, you can stick
I'm
around
sticking around.
Oh, fuck yes. Thank God. All right, we're going to come back with a little bit of fucking Turkish Star Wars for your face. We'll see you in just a few.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
Hello, darlings. It's your...
What the fuck? What the fuck is going on over there?
Chicks with dicks.
Is that the new name of the song?
Yes.
Chicks with dicks.
He was actually talking to Siri.
Yeah.
All right.
Sending me to the sporting goods store though.
Chicks at dicks.
Yep. The worst.
That was the worst.
All right, now we're gonna talk about. How do I fucking pronounce this again?
I think the way you pronounce it is trick.
What? No, I think you're crazy. Let me pull up the IMDb. All right, Dunyayi Kurtaran Adam, also known as Turkish Star Wars. Actually, let me see. I forget what Dunyayi Kurtaran Adam stands for. Let me.
The man who saved the world.
That's you're so good, Tiny. You're so smart.
I'm on it.
He's part Turkish.
Then what
Turkish white.
Yeah.
The Turkish. And what does Three Dev Adam mean? Like, why is Adam important in Turkish culture?
Three giant heroes, I think.
Probably means man, right? The other one was three giant men.
Ooh.
Man, see, I'm practically learning Turkish because of this show.
Oh shit.
Dunyayi Kurtaran Adam.
There you go. It's funny. It says the translation on Google Translate, saving the world from Adam.
Well, Adam's a big pain in the ass.
He is. Oh man, he's the worst.
Patrick.
Yep. You better believe it.
That's good.
Saving the world from Adam.
So there you go. So let me give you some details on this. This action adventure sci-fi film from 1982 is 91 minutes long, and it was directed by Seaton Inank
And George Lucas.
Lucas.
Right.
Was written by Kunyet Arkin, who also was the star. He played Morat. Kunyet Arkin.
Yes.
A Tekken.
I also think he was I think the other guy was Turkish Captain America.
He
too,
was.
right?
He was.
Yeah.
The guy who played Ali was a Tekken Akaya. Man, Josh is gonna have a field day with us on this one, I bet.
Oh, Snoop.
But if when you watch the film, when you watch the credits, it doesn't say what's the guy's name? Kunyat?
Kunyat.
Kunyet?
Cuneyt. Kunyet?
Yeah. In the film, it's spelled Kunt.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Rusty Kuntz. I feel bad for that.
Shit, I'm watching a movie who's directed a movie. The first guy's name is Cunt. I mean,
thank you.
I don't know for anyone who's a fan of baseball, but there used to be a baseball player named Rusty Kuntz.
Yeah,
Rusty Kuntz
for the Chicago White Sox.
Yep. So there you go. So
I used to have
knowledge MonsterZero.
Hey, I used to have a football card. The guy's name was Dick Post.
Didn't we? I feel like we've done this show before. Like, wasn't Jay here? Like,
yes.
I feel like we already did.
Where's Jay?
We have an SL sighting in the chat room.
Oh, hey.
And she says, "Am I in time for Turkish Star Wars?"
You are.
Indeed, you are just in time.
You just
your
made
lightsaber.
So first of all, let me talk about why I chose this, because this is the Roll the Bone segment where we're going to do it probably every 2 months. What we do is we'll roll die and Dynamite. I don't
shit on a Shanghai basket.
I don't suppose you have that, do you?
I might. Hold on.
Okay, if not, we'll do it. We'll do it next week. But so what happens is we roll a die, and then it was 100-sided die, right? Or
yep, 2d10 percentile die.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So. And basically, we have a list of names. We have everyone on the show, and they're in there a couple times, so like it's not just 100 different names. The people on the show, I think, are in there more. We have guests, former guests, and friends of the show, and then we also have listeners that are in there as well. And for anyone who leaves us a 5-star review or regularly contributes to the show, gets their name on that list. So if you want to be on the list, potentially to pick a film for us to review, just participate. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. Send us an email, send us a voicemail, or tweet, whatever you want, and we'll put you on the list. So it was my turn, and last time Tiny picked Psychomania, and I felt like there was a standard that needed to be upheld. And I wanted to pick something crazy that no one had seen before. And this was one that I actually had on a list to review. And Dynamo was like, no, I'm not reviewing that. I'm not watching that. And I figured that this would be the best place to put it. It wouldn't be a featured review. It would be like an extra bonus review. So that's why I went and picked Turkish Star Wars. And also Josh reps it hard. Our boy Josh Gravel from the Arkham Film Society.
Really?
Who we're going to hear from a little bit later. He reps it hard.
Good.
So there you go. That's why I picked it.
I just remembered how we did it, Wolfie. I do have that list.
Okay, awesome.
We roll 1 through 5, and then 6 through 10 is us in some order that we can decide.
Yep.
No, it's 1 through 5 is us. I actually don't remember.
Okay.
I know that it's. Did we use a D? There's only 5 of us, so I can't figure out. Oh, did we use a D6? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah, and then 1 through 5 is us, and then 6 is wild card.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And I have 100 names here. Tiny can see them. I'm not alone for a change.
Yep.
On this sheet.
Does anyone have a 6-sided die right now, or should we go?
Oh yeah, I carry one with me all the time.
I have my die simulator on my phone because I game. I'm a gamer.
Okay.
I'm a real live tabletop gamer.
Why don't we go ahead and pick that before we start the review?
Ooh. You want to?
Yeah. Go ahead and let's roll the bones, Dynamo. Do it up.
Roll the phone.
Give me 1 second here because my home screen button is broken, so it takes a second. More to navigate around on the phone that has my media phone here.
Yeah, or just throw the phone.
Roll the phone.
All right, so D6, you ready?
Yep.
So number 1 is Tiny White. Number 2 is myself. Number 3 is JW. Number 4 is MonsterZero, and number 5 is Raven Shadow. If you're wondering how I came to that, I just counted in the order that I saw us in the room in the feed.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, gonna roll.
Hold on, let me get a dice sound effect here.
Yep, I have the feeling we are never gonna use this wild card list I made.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, here we go. That's it.
Actually.
Very good. That's like a 1-sided die.
Okay, this one.
I could actually make the noise. You ready?
Okay, go.
Did you hear that? No.
Barely.
I heard it.
All right. It's number 1, Tiny White.
Oh shit! Really?
Again?
Fair and unbalanced.
Let me re-roll.
Yeah.
Hold on,
All
let me
Yeah.
re-roll.
No, we can't re-roll.
No,
get-
no re-roll. No
That's the way it
re-roll.
goes.
Yep.
So,
Really?
so
This is
Tiny,
already- your freaking phone is already locked.
Yeah.
You're a paranoid son of a bitch.
so we'll go.
His girlfriend seeing pictures of them on there.
Shit! This is a perfect opportunity for me to make you guys watch Ladurnia Combat.
There you go. You don't have to pick now. You have a. I think we're probably not going to do this segment for another.
This thing literally doesn't roll sixes. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I got.
Oh, that's a good one.
You might want to get a freaking like actual. If you want to survive your next gaming session, you might want to get a real die.
Or my complex one set up for the
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So I have like, oh no, wait, hold on a minute. I rolled the wrong thing.
What?
Yeah, I rolled. Tiny's right. The ones on the home screen are a little wonky. Like I have a thing set up here. Should we roll again?
All right, I guess. We'll
I actually have
Tiny
a
just
die.
rolled
Wait,
11. Tiny just rolled 11 ones. So. And
a week before, I'll let you know when it's coming up, but you have time to decide. So think of a good one.
run to get a die, but no, let's do it.
To
I was gonna make you motherfuckers read a little bit too. I did fucking change the the tides and make.
Can we do something besides him?
shinning.
Before we get to the review, I just want to get some late breaking news.
Okay.
That just posted from Variety.com. No more talked about, but now it's been confirmed. Have direct.
1 hour ago.
Variety is picking up.
You know, the New England Patriots also won the Super Bowl.
Let's.
George Washington.
Towers have fallen in.
You took it too far.
Slow it down.
All right, I talked about who is in this. Two Space Desert Planet, where an evil wizard,
AKA Turkey,
on footage from Star Wars. Oh,
reality.
Shit! What just happened? What the fuck? Jesus Christ! This to use is, and you're right. Somebody, I can't remember who said it, but the editing.
I actually started counting seconds between cuts, and I.
Yes, it was insane.
What are you talking about? It's not like it's settled. Maybe 2 or 3 cuts every cut for the entire action scene throughout the entire movie.
Here's my notes at 9:18 yesterday to Johnny. Holy Snoop, it's the same footage.
Well, we reviewed 3 Devadan. So one thing that you need to keep in mind, in Turkey, they don't observe copyright laws.
Obviously.
This is like the worst though. Like might steal, intellectual property, and I guess they definitely like rip off other music.
Yeah.
But this was actually stuff
directly out of a very high. The most stuff was the fact that the scenes that they're blue screened. First of all, they're flying TIE fighters, which is fucking awesome. The good guys are flying TIE fighters, so that's pretty amazing. But the freak,
yeah, you could see
things
TIE fighters swooping down and shit.
Like
you see, suddenly the background is suddenly the cockpit to the Millennium Falcon.
Star Wars sheets growing up,
and you see the footage of Star.
Right.
They're not. They should be pretending like they're in like a dogfight or something stressful is going on, but they're just like
4 times over.
Minute or two.
Yeah. With
in 1984, I'd say 2 blood pigs.
I'll say about 300 drachmas.
We're seeing subtitles, and I don't shit I've ever seen. Wizard is like talking. That was so fucking art, crazy shit, and like they were. But then
the Earth was destroyed in form. What the clearly was not translated.
Because like what it feels like watching.
My God, I mean, mishmash of just the good guy or good guys just bouncing around all over the place. And it also had like a Mighty Morph costumes, guys in costumes.
The monsters at the end.
The guy would like karate chop the monster's arms off and then shove him right through his chest. Ridiculous.
I've grown to love the. I'm sick of you guys. I've grown to love the strange combat hybrid, which is Turkey action film fighting.
Yes.
There's
a lot of chops, a lot of chest chops,
a lot of Mongolian chops too,
a lot of neck chops.
Yeah, I really love the trick that police Lieutenant Morat from Turkish Evil Dead would do by leaping onto the back of a horse and giving somebody like a Kawasaki style Mongolian chop, and then leaping onto another horse and doing it
absolutely.
again. Even though it was only the same horse every time.
Dynamo, you bring up a good point because his name was the same, Morat. It was the same actor playing. Is there something there? Is it the same character, you think?
Morat is like the Doc
Savage,
the Emmanuel of
Turkey. Okay.
Yeah. Ryu.
I was looking it up and I couldn't find much information about it, so I wasn't sure. But that's interesting, though. The baddies I thought looked pretty cool. Like I think, given the time that they made this, I thought there actually was some originality shown here. And the thing that throws me off is why don't they just shoot their own fucking footage? I don't get it. Like, I guess because they can use it, they did.
Why not? Yeah, seriously.
It's cheaper too. I mean,
well, like those mummies, for instance, in that weird scene, like where they killed a bunch of teenagers for no nonsense reason.
Yep.
Like, how good would those have looked on a pristine print? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I feel like
absolutely.
the only reason those looked any good at all was because it looked like shit.
So when they crash land, or when they just all of a sudden appear on this planet, because they don't show them crash landing and they get pulled out basically. Like, that's when the movie like was okay for me. I was like, all right, there's some, the writing was bad or the translation, but there were some interesting concepts. I liked the look of some of the monsters.
Yeah.
And they didn't use as much Star Wars footage, in like the middle portion of the film.
I don't think they used any. None.
No,
that I can remember.
They used
they
the
did
cantina.
near the end they did.
They used the
They did
cantina
use
footage.
The second best film score of all time, which is the score to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
They did throughout, and they opened it with frickin' Airwolf, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Battlestar Galactica. And
It was a fucking who's who of like film scores. And toward the end, they had so many different scores, but I love at the end when there was like a fight between the good guy and the bad guy, and they kept cutting back between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Flash Gordon, like back and forth.
Yeah, it was like it was put together by a high school student. It was just
yeah, you're right.
There was really no professionalism involved in this film at all whatsoever.
I tend to disagree. Tiny and I made a lot of those movies, and they didn't look like this.
No.
Okay. It's made by a moronic. It's like it's made by a moronic high
there
school
were, like,
student.
No cuts.
Yeah.
You just like when you're a high school student, you just like let your like scene run for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and
it's awkward, and people are like setting up the scene and everything. You get it all.
Sit around.
But seriously, I mean, the freaking editor of this movie, man, was busy.
Oh yeah.
Really busy.
Know what I thought was
Yes.
funny?
He had to have vertigo by the time he was done.
I can't
Carlina
even fucking
Valdez.
imagine.
It looked like Jodorowsky's Flash Gordon, like the stuff that Flash Gordon took from Jodorowsky's Dune, like was the weird part.
Yeah,
it looked like a weird Mobius, like completely weird. Like,
Can you imagine for a moment you're the editor of this movie, okay? And this is back in the days of film, right? You're taking like freaking how many actual frames are you cutting in these scenes? You're cutting like 40 frames.
Yeah.
40 frames. That's it.
That's totally true. Like again, same as the sheet thing. Like while I was watching it, I was like laughing that it sounds like when I'm cutting something together in iMovie, and the cuts overlap on each, like the images overlap on each other.
Yeah.
But this was actual frames, like
literally. Like these guys like single-handedly supported the tape industry, like the splicing tape industry in Turkey for that year. There's no question. Can you imagine the fucking mess in the cutting room? Just imagine it. Seriously, imagine it for a minute. You're editing film, and this is what you have edited.
Right.
Like 1 second cuts.
Yeah. You know what this equals? 1984.
Yeah.
Like you can fill in the last ingredient here. See if you can. Right. Okay. You walk into the editing room. It's 1984. Right. There are small. Like normally when you walk into an editing room and there's stuff left over, you would see like long reels of like tape and stuff like that. There are like literally just frames on the floor, like somebody just indiscriminately cut the line of film up.
Yeah.
Right. What is the last ingredient in that room? A cereal bowl of cocaine.
I was gonna say
a
cocaine
barrel.
at the very beginning of that.
A barrel of cocaine.
Like,
There you go. Can we
seriously,
get
like-
that?
Like this, there was one scene that they showed over and over again, and like they got a print and they fucked it up and they couldn't fix it.
Yeah.
But it's the scene when like they were loading like a photon torpedo or whatever they're called in Star Wars into the thing.
Yeah.
And like there's a long line of those like Imperial.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. I thought they were like technicians, but they might be like a rank in the military. I love Star Wars, but I'm a bit more of a Star Trek guy than a Star Wars guy. And they just kept showing them loading it, and they were all together. And the scene like was almost so fast that you couldn't see it, so they would put it like back to back. So it would be like skipping, like it was like on like a still pause, like on an old VCR. It'd be like, so it like move, like it was like it's so fucking weird. It was so weird.
I have no doubt whatsoever that there was a fucking huge amount of cocaine consumed in the creation of the film.
Every step of the way.
Huge fucking amounts of cocaine.
Now, I need to talk about the scene when they do land on this other planet, and they're talking about like, oh well, maybe there's women here, and he's like, don't forget to walk cool, and then he, and then he says to whistle, and then all of a sudden all these like villains come out, and he's like, I think you did the wrong whistle.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought their rapport was pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
No, it was fine. Yeah.
The weird timing of when the subtitles would like show up early or late didn't do it any fucking favors.
True.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit, but
yeah, it seemed like it progressively got worse too, and obviously it's not the fault of the film makers. That's whoever did the subtitles, but
everyone was doing cocaine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Jump on this horse. Okay.
And you got one character who's always talking about girls, and then you got another one. I can't remember if it's the same character or not, talking about the Quran and talking about Islam and all this. I'm like, are they really going to go there?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah.
Hearing MonsterZero like talk about like girls, like, does Turkey do this with music too? Like in the same way that you sometimes will go into a strip club now every once in a while, and now that like that the music that you play is regulated, in the same way like you have to listen to satellite radio and stuff like that. Like, is it like, so you get hack versions sometimes? Like, so in Turkey, do you have ladies?
Girls.
Not boys.
When you see in things, a monster that's dead, who you gonna call? Spook hunters.
I'm sure there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
The nothing was sacred in this film. They used
I'm as free as a winged animal.
They used Phantom of the Opera music. They used Flash Gordon. They used Star Wars. They used Raiders of the Lost Ark.
A lot.
What was
Battlestar Galactica? They used a little.
Was
bit.
Airwolf? Is that what you mentioned?
Airwolf.
Yeah, Airwolf opened it. Yep.
And when they had that horse fight scene, like toward the beginning, like that's what got me. When they were like knocking the guys off the horses. These guys were the most inept horse riders I've ever seen.
Yeah, but the two heroes were the most freaking macho pair of any any main characters in any movie ever.
Yeah.
Like they see these like skeletal riders coming at them, like a dozen skeletal riders on horseback with fucking spears, and the guy says, "I think you whistled the wrong tune."
Yeah.
We got skeletons. We got skeletons instead of girls.
Not
They're just
girls,
totally unaffected by the fact that they're like getting run down by spear wielding skeletons. Like, oh well, wrong song.
I have a feeling that PETA was not overseeing the usage of the animals in this film.
There's no Turkish PETA. That's for sure.
Yeah. Tiny Wife mentioned that she was kind of glancing over my shoulder. Well, first of all, the entire time she was like, browsing Amazon. She's like, "Why the fuck are you watching that? Why are you continuing to watch that?
Because I have
what
to.
What the fuck is going on that
show.
screen right now?"
You get your 2 blooms for nothing and your wenches for free.
These were like definitely the most inept horse riding skeletons in the history of film, for sure. And the fast forward to the training montage at
in the pantheon of
They were.
They were among the worst.
They were a minority amongst the minority.
They were in the bottom 10% of cinematic skeletal horse ride.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
I can feel it moving in the atmosphere after the sun goes down.
Oh my lord!
All right, so for those of you playing at home, I'm going forward in the film to the 31-minute 30-second mark. Mm-hmm. I specifically wrote this down and said that this training montage is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, they took it to a new level.
Yeah,
a new level.
It was tenderizing that rock.
The fucking rock. And what did it do? What did it do to deserve that shit? I wonder if I can play this on the feed. Like, do you think we're gonna get in trouble?
Oh, come on. No, I don't think so.
Because this needs to be seen. Let me set it up.
Didn't we get in trouble for 1 minute and 38 seconds of?
Oh wait, is there soundtrack music to it?
I could have soundtrack.
I was gonna say that there's no way that there's gonna be like a U.S. copyright for that movie, but maybe for the music. Maybe for the music.
Okay, so I'll mute it and we'll talk over it.
Yep.
Let me see here. Let me get this squared away.
How come Turkey has no copyright, but we have to do copyright for Turkey?
Yeah, I know, right?
What are we talking about? 30 what and what?
31:30.
31:30.
31:35. I'm sorry, is when it starts.
It took me a while to figure out who this lady in here reminded me of, but she reminded me of. I won't say her name, especially if for some reason I think she should be flattered, despite the fact that the real person is much more beautiful than the girl in this film. But she reminds me of a female director friend of ours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and let me start playing this. We'll talk over it. This is if you're watching the live feed, you're going to see one of the most incredible scenes in the history.
Smacking that rock. Smack it. Smack it.
My fucking look at this. He's punching the rock now.
He's like an iron fist.
Yeah.
He's harnessing his chi. He's getting some poppy.
He's lifting that rock.
Oh, here it is in the chat room. Can see it now.
She's hot, Turkey.
Yeah, she's cute.
Little Arab kid.
Look at this fucking fighting.
Bows.
Yeah, they're not Arabs, you jackass. Did you just say that?
Yeah,
probably.
Well, where's Turkey?
He did.
You fucking moron.
Is it where is
It's Turks.
Look at these fucking guys train.
He's definitely giving that like that low key. Hiya, who you?
I hate this fucking rock. I fucking hate you, rock.
Here's my question. I didn't see
Look at a nostril flare.
I didn't see I didn't see a fucking tree in this whole movie. Where did that guy get that giant log throw around there?
Oh God, this is.
Oh, he is punishing that rock. Look at that.
Oh, she's
Yeah, don't put your bloody hands in my soup.
Why is she washing his hands with kale? What the fuck?
Oh, Wolfie's gonna get upset. Hey, you're supposed to be eating that.
By the way, I had kale yogurt this week.
She's kind of like someone we know.
Who do you think?
Someone.
Because I know that you don't know the classy person that we were talking about.
What classy person are we talking about?
Exactly.
Ricardo Montalban?
Turkish cat in America.
I love this scene right here where he fucking straps the rocks to his legs.
It's the best. It's the best.
I froze, so I had to restart it. So for those people on the feed, sorry about that. But
for those people in the feed who can't hear me right now.
Yeah.
This is the hoppiest movie.
Yes, definitely.
Dumbass kid.
Rock's enjoying it.
Arabs. I can't fucking believe it.
Why? It's
like this is seriously the rockiest training montage since the Rocky training montage.
It's true.
Where's Turkey?
Get a fucking Google map.
Jesus
I love how the
Christ.
fucking
Dude.
boulders just explode when it kicks him into the
Yeah, yes. Fucking amazing.
Oh my god.
Where'd the movie go?
Went back.
You want me to open back up?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get it back up. You want to see that training montage
What happens
again?
next?
You forget what happens?
Did they not have geography in the like, or even a map at the sewer treatment plant in the town that you grew up in? Like,
There was part of a map.
Part of a map.
They had the cape on it.
I have a one-eyed Willie.
Really?
Let me look up Turkey for you.
I actually
all right?
thought that these guys who look like they had radioactive poisoning here were
Mhm.
kind of scary.
They're kind of like the Apollo and
These guys I did
Starbucks.
not think were scary.
No, not so much. No, the Yo Gabba Gabbas.
No.
Yep.
So here you go, Raven Shadow. Do you see Turkey on this map?
Yes.
You were actually near Turkey. You were in Greece one time, weren't you?
I was in Italy. I was in Rome.
Oh, I thought you were in Greece.
No.
Wait, what? You've actually traveled outside of this country?
Yeah, I was in.
And made it back.
It was a bad time, Tiny. Let me tell you about the fucking.
See, there's Italy. Turkey's right here. You were like right next to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to the vineyard from Nantucket.
So it's kind of like saying that you're of Arabic descent, dummy.
Well, except for the. Don't let the beard fool you. I was pulled out of line once.
Were you really? Yeah.
I was. We,
Like in Midnight Express?
And nobody wanted to stand next to you.
No. We. I was with our buddy Thomas Smythe, and he changed our flight plan, and because of that, we got put on a list. So we were pulled out of line, and we had to like take our shoes off. I had my pants unbuckled in line.
Wow.
It was bad times. And the
Oh,
guy's like,
so hot, dude.
it was sexy. And the guy's like, don't worry, the same thing happened to Richard Dreyfuss a couple hours ago. And I was like, oh, great. And my mom's crying.
That make you feel better?
It was bad times.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, your mom's crying that they might make you not be able to leave.
No, she's
You'll have
very
to
worried
stay.
about me.
Yeah. Because you don't look like a cliche terrorist either.
So where's Turkey?
Just fucking told you.
It's east of.
It's next to Greece.
It's east of Italy.
Is it in Africa?
No.
Jesus Christ.
It's east of Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. It doesn't matter to you.
It's on the planet somewhere.
Well, that's dumb.
So
That's a dumb. Just
I
dumb
can't even
location.
believe they let your Theodore Stripsky looking self on a plane.
I actually
I'm going to paraphrase Dennis Miller here when I said if I ever get on a plane and look at somebody as weird as you sitting next to me, dressed like you, they better play for the fucking '85 Celtics.
one thing I would love to do, I would love to fucking do a video spoof of that training montage and have MonsterZero tie rocks to his legs.
I love this guy here that looks like Teen Wolf.
Yes.
He's like dressed like Santa Claus with a Teen Wolf mask on, and they look like these guys are masturbating, and they look like they're raping this other guy. It's very strange.
Well, this took a turn at this point where I was digging what they're doing. It's like Punch and John.
Yeah. By the way, this movie is on YouTube for anyone who wants to watch it. I think
There's a lot of this Santa Claus dressed as Teen Wolf was out to rape.
where
Team
The guy
Wolf
in the
3
rubber-
out to rape.
The Rubber Ming the Merciless mask in the bar fight.
Yes. He actually has freaking moves, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know, when he's fighting the main character,
I think it's a woman.
It's possible. The main character actually looks like he has moves, like
Because that's Police Lieutenant Morat.
Yeah.
The greatest of all Turkish investigators
Yes.
who wants to get the attention of his comrade, shot both his tires out so he crashed into a tree. That's how fucking hardcore this guy is.
That's how macho people are
He doesn't
over there.
fucking call. He fucking almost commits vehicular homicide. And if you survive, you'll listen.
Nice.
He
Yep.
beat the fucking ninjas who shot through rocks at people.
Wow.
He's the fucking best.
One of the things that bothers me about this movie, though, and granted, this is 1982. all right. God.
Was it Michael Ravenshadow's Psyche on the screen?
It's like why couldn't they have at least given those skeletons some equestrian lessons?
Here's what infuriates me. When those skeletons got hurt, there's no blood.
No, the thing is that our heroes here, I mean, I guess toward the end there may be
you're about to say is fucking ridiculous.
there may be a couple times when they're put in peril, but these guys are like fucking like destroy everything that comes near them. They're never put in any danger or peril at all.
That's
Dude,
because
they're fighting college sports mascots.
Right, but they look badass. Like there should be some hierarchy of.
Badass.
I think so.
The Death Star's back.
the setup for this movie, don't they basically say like the people that went off to fight these guys would just happen to be super macho and super pissed?
Yeah.
Like that's like they weren't like authorized to go and like do any of the shit that they're doing. They're just too manly not
They
to
just
do it.
fucking commandeered this rocket.
With let me see where you guys continue. I'll see if I can actually find the quote where they explain who's going to do this.
I love their fucking get-ups.
I know the satin jacket kills me.
It looks like his nipples are cut out. It's so weird.
It is. They are. They are. Right?
Do you think Police Lieutenant Morat got a hold of one of the leather-bound Dune books?
Maybe. What's with the wizard with like his mask off? Like I sometimes can't tell. I didn't know it was the same dude at first.
He was kind of like fucking. Who's the Dracula? The famous Dracula?
Dracula?
You know the
Dracula?
No, who's the famous Dracula?
Dracula.
He was in Star Wars.
Dracula. Christopher Lee.
There you go. He looks like Christopher Lee meets
He does
Strife.
not. He's like Turkish Christopher Lee.
He's like Turkish Strife from the Mutant Liberation Front.
Wow.
So they get captured, and there's a scene where Murat is put in the arena to fight this Wampa-looking thing, and all he does is flip around for 5 minutes, and then he finally like kicks its ass. But
Hey, no.
they bought with their budget. They bought a trampoline, and they used the fuck out of that thing.
Yeah. They got
They
their
did.
money's worth out of that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm reading the freaking subtitles in the beginning of this movie. It just it just hurts the fucking brain.
Oh,
It
yeah.
It truly hurts the brain. I don't know who translated this or if it was supposed to be funny, but billions of years. Oh, let me give that back. Billions of years ago, where the fuck was it? Billions.
Billions.
Oh my god. Oh, here we go. Two of the strongest and greatest Turkish warriors. This isn't just like your like regular oven roasted turkey, right? These are like the absolute best of the best that Turkey has to offer.
These are like Purdue Warriors.
It is. This is like honey roasted heroes.
That's the episode title: Honey Roasted Heroes.
This is 100% pure turkey. This is like Turduncan.
Oh my god.
This is like a turkey with a chicken shoved up its ass,
is.
with a duck shoved up its ass,
That
with
is.
Police Lieutenant Morat shoved up its ass.
Oh fuck. and then we have apparently the Quran holds the secrets of the universe as well. Did you guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we do now.
And then there's that sword that looks like it's straight out of like Final Fantasy.
No shit, man. Boy, that thing was all constructed out of wood and everything.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody made
Enormous.
in wood shop.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Looks like it was made in wood shop, for Christ's sake. This whole thing's a school outing.
Pretty amazing.
I like when it showed the back just there, that you could see it was just cardboard.
Yeah.
You can see it's actually like pieces nailed on
Somebody actually got fucked up by one of those nails.
I literally have so many notes. I'm trying to.
It looks, honestly, doesn't even look like a shop project. It looks like he like went by somebody's house and broke some lattice off, and it just happened to look like a sword.
Yes. Like he broke it off horizontally and had like an 8-foot length of it.
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Can we talk about the torture device that's being used by the wizard for a second? That looks like a guy's head, restricted by 2 old school like phone cords and 2 Nintendo Wii controllers, like lit up behind him.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the most ridiculous things in this movie is that touching conversation between Ali and Morat, like when Ali is dying. It's the most fucking melodramatic bromance shit I've ever seen captured on film.
Yeah.
He's caressing him and holding him, and like,
You don't understand how like macho man love goes.
Yeah.
Is that what happened if Tiny died?
Huh? It depends on how he died.
But the best fucking thing about this, they come to the realization that evil can't win because evil doesn't know how to cry.
That's pretty deep.
That was the fucking revelation.
Wow.
And then he melts the sword down to make.
He just killed 3 people with one swipe with this sword in this particular scene.
Yes.
What a fucking.
So Morat, he melts the sword down and he sticks his hand in a bucket basically, and all of a sudden he pulls them out and there's very like well-fashioned gloves.
Yeah.
Like incredible craftsmanship for just dipping his hands in a bucket and pulling them out.
Yeah, like the fingers each got like
Yeah, like it had like nice I don't know what you call it, like they look like scales almost,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Some nice
Did you
scale.
not hear that these guys were the cream of the crop from Turkey?
The cream of the rock.
Not
cream
from
of the
Earth.
crop.
Not from Earth.
No.
Turkey.
Seriously.
Though this film was very, I don't know what to call it, nationalistic for humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very like species racist towards aliens of all kinds.
Totally.
He even tells the little kid, you gotta always fight aliens because you're human.
Mm-hmm. He says you always got to fight evil.
And then we
But
see
you can tell that this movie that's apples and oranges right
Yes,
there.
that's true.
he pulled the fucking Yo Gabba Gabba's creature arm off. There was so much decapitation and limb ripping off in this.
Mm-hmm.
it's violent, but it's not bloody or
It's not
gory.
bloody, no.
No, it's silly. It's really the violence is completely
It's
silly.
silly, yeah.
Except the violence against the freaking horses in that one scene, which was just terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So then we go like an hour and we see Death Star footage again.
Yeah.
All of a sudden
Right.
just pops back up.
Right.
And Morat is just jumping around like a fucking lunatic again. That's like massive quick cuts of him just jumping around, flipping around. And Morat has fucking ruthless aggression while beating up these monsters.
Oh, Snoop!
He's tearing off heads and limbs like it's going out of style.
He's
It's-
biting a sword, smashing it in half.
He's like a real life Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Combatant. It's amazing.
And then he fucking starts kicking rocks at the wizard at the end.
Yes.
Which is a theme in his films.
Yeah, he can't not do that.
The final fight with the wizard in this film, classic. It's short, unfortunately, but it's fucking classic. And
His
then
facial expression when he takes like that first like stunning blow.
Yeah.
Is fucking cinema gold.
Let me go forward a little bit. Oh god, we're watching this in the fucking studio. There's literally a good 30 minutes of him beating up stuffed animals in this movie. Literally. And and the fucking wizard, like he's throwing shit at him, and like this whole scene where he throws these stars at him.
And now we get to the Death Star. Now, how the hell did we get to this
Yeah,
point?
they're fighting and they cut to the Death Star footage. Look,
I love
he's
that
like,
the big
"Oh,
Nobi guy looks like Terry Funk.
look at how he throws them. He throws
the
them
Chinese stars.
He throws them like. Guys, you have to see this fucking film.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Everyone needs to see this because it is so ridiculous.
Yeah. You won't be able to follow the plot at all.
No, you can actually.
It's so convoluted, man. I mean, it's so twisted. It jumps from scene to scene without any real reason, you know?
Like that?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Why are they in the Death Star trench?
I will say that this is the most linear Turkish action film.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
With-
Yeah, this is
with-
better than 3 Devidam, I think.
Well, 3 Devidam would be 2, but you ain't seen shit till you've seen Turkish Evil Dead.
Turkish Evil Dead, yeah.
That shit's
I gotta see that.
crazy.
So we get
All
to
I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in we arms. Words not at all important. Enjoy the very quiet.
So we get Morat defeats the wizard because he knows how to cry, and the wizard doesn't, and then he kicks a fucking rock at him. And then he defeats the wizard, and he just fucking leaves the woman he loves and her kid. He's just like, He's like, "Oh, see you later."
Yeah,
She's
well,
like,
hey, I've had enough of you.
She's like, "I thought you loved me." He's like, "See you later." And then he gets in the Millennium Falcon and takes off.
Oh yeah, look what he does to the guy's face.
Yeah.
I love you. I know. And flies out.
And he chops him in half.
Yes.
I love how they black out half of his face.
Yeah.
How
That's
the fuck?
amazing.
How the fuck did he get the Millennium Falcon? Did he win it gambling with Lando?
Yeah, I was playing Sabak.
Sabak.
Oh, Sabak.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cap Kirk's friend.
Yes. So, anyone have anything else to add about this before we head to the verdict?
No.
I don't know if there's anything else that you can add. It's not even worth doing spoilers because we pretty much spoil it anyways. You just got to see it. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter what we said.
Because
Yeah.
all the monsters look like a Yabba Gabba. I told them how to do like this. Move like me. Walk like me.
All right, let's go to it's.
Wow, she really does look like that girl, though, sometimes.
What girl?
I'll tell you off thing.
Is her first name start with a J?
That starts with an F.
F. Right, Dynamo?
What?
Yeah,
F.
he just said F. Yeah.
Yeah, F, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
I know you mean now. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go. It's Busta time.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Trick or treat.
What was that, Dynamo?
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, so verdict time. Since I guess I'll go first, since I picked this fucking movie. 10 minutes into this, I honestly did not think I could make it through the movie. But when it got away from using footage from other films, I felt it had a chance to find its own identity, and they actually had some interesting concepts. So aside from blatantly...
Shut the fuck up right now.
No!
Somebody over there fucking strangle him. Don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare.
What?
Don't you fucking dare.
I really enjoy the subtext.
I didn't say anything about subtext.
You're wearing a fucking monocle giving your review.
Oh, Professor J.
I need a monocle.
This is, the Turkish cinema landscape is very far above what,
Give me a
what
fucking
we
break.
And
what
I
we
found
normally
this.
have, the subtext.
I found this to be a morality tale.
the strange color of Police Lieutenant Morat's tears.
Aside from blatantly ripping off music and images from other more popular
Yes.
films,
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
some of what was going on here wasn't bad. Some of the character designs, the sets, and story ideas. Hold on. I can get behind. The acting and the actual filmmaking, I think, is on par with other Turkish
What I can't
films.
stand is bad skeletal equestrian. It's a trick. What are you talking about?
I think if they
Let's hear this. What?
if they took out the Star Wars
Fine,
footage,
and it's your fault.
if they took out the Star Wars footage, this film would have been much better for it. However, this would have been a forgotten film without.
Are you talking about if you took out the Star Wars but left the lattice sword? Like,
Yes. Are you telling me that films from the 70s and 80s that we grew up on were not of a similar budget and style?
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
This was 82.
yeah, and this movie looks like it was like had the special effects of 32.
No.
It's like fucking jump edit disappearings in here.
All right, fine. I'll give you that.
Dude.
I'll give you that. I said I'd give you that. I think without the Star Wars footage, though, this film is a forgotten film. It's not a cult classic. Nobody knows about it without that added novelty. So I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I would have liked to seen this
Double-edged lattice sword.
a double-edged lattice sword.
I can't believe that you shit on Shakma, but you fucking
I didn't shit on
dressed
it. I
like
liked
the
it.
Monopoly guy reviewing this movie right
I
now.
like Shakma.
Yeah, you gave Shakma.
I
gave
gave it a treat.
Shakma a treat.
Yeah, I liked
the
it.
whole time you're like, oh, Shakma. Oh.
I think this is one of the best, worst films I've ever seen. For me, it's a treat because it's so fucking ridiculous. It needs to be seen. I'm
Yes.
gonna pass the baton, MZ.
I'm not going to rate it so highly as you do, man. I mean,
No
like I
one
said
ever
before,
has in a history of
the whole film looks like it's put
what
together.
about when
like,
it stopped using the Star Wars footage and found its own
voice.
personality?
Yeah.
What about when it really? What about when it really hit its stride?
Yeah.
And its cinematic vision.
it made me laugh. It made me cry. It was better than What We Do in the Shadows.
Like when they he did a roll and fucking kicked Broby right in the face.
I mean, to think that grown people actually, grown, educated, I'm going to use that term loosely, educated people thought that putting out something like this was actually meant to be taken seriously. I don't know. Maybe.
We're trying to make Hobbit with a shotgun. What the fuck? I mean.
Yeah, but I think even that could be better than this.
Yeah, I don't think that these people were joking when they made this at all.
I think these guys were pretty serious, but the fact that they looked at it, the final product, and said, "Okay, yes, let's go with it." I just find it very hard to believe that anybody would actually take these people seriously and think that what they did was really a true piece of cinematic art. I don't know. I find it
before you.
I find it very hard to believe. Having said that,
yes, here it comes. Back me up, MZ.
It is really enjoyable because it is so bad. It is one of those so bad it's good films. In every aspect, from the filmmaking to even to the production of the subtitles. Even those were just off. They couldn't even get those right, and it's because of that it just comes together as just one big pile of shit. But it's an enjoyable pile of shit.
But it's a gold-plated pile of shit.
It's a big gold-plated pile of shit with a big red ribbon on it. And I'm not going to say that I would watch it again anytime soon, but if there ever is a time where I feel so bored to the point where I just want to kill myself, then yes, I'll throw this in again. Once again, I will say this is a tepid treat.
Dynamo, I could tell, was almost about to spit soda or whatever he's drinking.
Yes, it was very close. How could you tell that though?
I could do.
Yes.
Oh,
I had some fear.
Yes.
Because
Because no matter where you turn in your studio, there's a synth.
Yes, that's true. That's a good point. I would rather him just spit the soda directly on me. It's totally fine.
Less expensive. All right, Raven Shadow.
All right, this movie was not Goodfellas. There you go.
No, you're right. It wasn't. It was Star Wars.
No.
Yeah.
I would like to see Turkish Goodfellas.
It was not Three Devadam.
Amazing.
But I gotta say though, being this new.
Did you see this? Where did the stormtroopers come from all of a sudden? I didn't notice that the first time. Sorry.
This new into the new year, this show is very important because we have two flicks that I would recommend to people. One for pure entertainment and one for you have no fucking idea that this really exists. And that's what I think a Trick or Treat Radio movie can be. Like you are fucking not lived until you've seen this either a great, retarded, bad, or whatever the fuck movie. And I would love to show this to the kids who maybe never saw Star Wars in theaters. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if I would want to introduce them to Star Wars through this.
No, not my kids, but like a 20-something. Lucas hanging low right here. No, I'd say it's a tepid treat because it's fucking outrageous.
Yes.
I would do that.
All right, Tiny, why don't you go?
Can we rate this a must-watch trick? Like, does that work?
Yeah, that's a new one. That's a new one.
Does that work? Because clearly that's what this is, right? This is a freaking catastrophe.
Yeah.
It's a catastrophe, but you have to see it.
Right.
You have to see it. I'm gonna go with a must-watch trick.
Thusly dubbed.
Yes, must-watch trick. I like that. All right, Dynamo.
I'm gonna say that this is a treat. Like I do sort of agree with MC that I will never see it again. I'm actually sort of upset with some of the people who I respect that hated it so much. Like, must have been having a really bad day, or I don't want to. I certainly don't want to say taking themselves seriously, but like if they couldn't enjoy this for the fact that it's like we were talking about Wesley Willis earlier. Right. The world is a better place because there is a Wesley Willis. I actually had a great conversation with my good buddy, our friend of the show and certainly friend of the Deadites, Duncan Arsenal, yesterday, and saying that we took for granted that we were always going to be just fucking bumping into wild and crazy people like Wesley Willis, and I feel the same way about cinema to a degree. Like, there's so much crazy shit that we saw, like Bad Taste, and we're never going to see Bad Taste again. Right. We're never going to see, like every once in a while there's something that touches on it, like Plague a Zombie or something like that. And it's totally refreshing to see this because this is something we didn't see when it was a contemporary thing.
Yeah.
But it would have been like, legendary in itself if we had seen it was a contemporary thing. And I think despite its obvious shortcomings, which are in league with everything of Turkey, though we didn't mention that the skeletal people at one point for no good reason made the Godzilla sound. But this is definitely a treat. The world is better for this existing. Is it good? I will say I enjoyed it much more than Goodfellas, but
yes,
it if I wanted to watch angry Italian guys talk, I go hang out on Shrewsbury Street. But this was fun. It was definitely a treat.
Cool. I'm glad you didn't hate it. I know you're a little apprehensive about watching it. So, well, that was pretty good. We had 4 treats and a must-see trick.
Which I think is semantics at the end of the day.
It really is.
It's
the equivalent of a treat. Let's be honest.
Yeah. All right. Well, MZ, you need to get going.
Yeah.
We're going to do this segment again in a few weeks, and Tyna will have. He has the baton. He'll pick a movie, and we'll take a real quick break. I'm gonna play. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play a little bit of Too Ugly for Heaven, because that is the intro and outro music for the show, and we never play that song. You only hear the intro and the outro. So I'm just going to play maybe a minute of it, and we'll cut to a break, get MZ out of here. We'll come up and we'll do feedback and wrap up the show. So MZ, why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to the folks, and we'll be back in a few.
Arrivederci, Turkish douchebags.
And we're back. Or at least I am. And those guys over there.
Hello.
So I ended up playing the whole thing.
I saw that.
Took a longer break than I expected. But there you go. That's Too Ugly for Heaven off of The Big Scary Monster Hunts at Midnight. Which
by
I think,
the way, I'm surprised at how much that happens. That chorus isn't me. Like, I know our liner notes on that record are vague, but that's actually John Kervin, who's a much better songwriter than I am.
Yeah, the awesome John Kervin.
A lot of people are like, "Wow, you sound really good in that part," and so that's just not me. I'm all the parts that sound bad.
Hey, Raven Chisel, can you open that door? We had an animal sneak in.
Yeah, one leave too.
Yeah, the Knorr. Yeah. So we have some feedback. I think we're supposed to play some of this earlier, but I don't know. We just were rolling on. So let me see what we have here. We got something from Josh from Arkham Film Society. Super excited to hear from Josh because I know he is a strong proponent of Turkish Star Wars. So I don't know if he's going to talk about what we do in the shadows as well, but why don't we go ahead and hear from our boy...
Josh.
Yeah, Josh, I gotta hit the play button, not the reply button.
No.
Calling in again. Know it's been a couple of weeks, but I'm back. What we do in the shadows? Well, this is a definite treat and a definite recommend.
Josh.
I'm gonna say this is probably one of the funniest films I have seen in a long time.
Wow.
And the great thing is that, you know, they clearly did a lot of research into their vampire subject matter, because you get a lot of references of different styles from different films, and it, you know, making a very good, smart comedy that happens to overlap with a horror theme and genre. So, like I said, it's highly recommend this. It's definitely a treat. Now, as for Turkish Star Wars, this is also a treat. This is also a definite recommend. I know a lot of people are going to tell you this film is horrible, and in many aspects, yeah, it is. But it's also a lot of fun. You can tell that kind of the people who made it, their kind of heart was in the right place of, you know, trying to go out there and make a movie with what they had. You know, even if all their space shots are from a scope print of Star Wars, and their film is nowhere near scope. So it's even funnier when they cut to that Star Wars footage and everything is squeezed.
Yep.
Plus, if you get to watch this film with an audience, I highly recommend it. We showed it at one of our Arkham events a while back, and it went over like crazy. People just went nuts for this movie. So, again, that is also a high recommend. And also, I was told to plug my event, so if any of you are in the Providence area, next Monday, the 23rd, at the Empire Black Box, 95 Empire Street, Providence, we're going to have a mystery movie screening. It's from our 16mm archive. The only clue that we're putting out, that is 1970 proto-blaxploitation film, involves some people that would become well-known for the genre. And you can figure it out from there. And to kind of chime in on the last couple of weeks,
Star Wars.
Shakma, treat, it's fun, not good, but fun. And Iceman, well, even though it's got hometown hero Donnie Yen in it, that's definitely a trick and not a recommend. So, I think we're all caught up. I hope you guys have a great conversation about the films tonight. I hope Mick comes around to actually watching Turkish Star Wars and realizing it's fun, and have a great week.
There you go. Thanks, Josh. Josh is the fucking man, and I wanted him to talk about his event because I kept forgetting to mention it. So for anyone that is within driving distance of Providence, or even if you're not, just fucking make a fucking road trip it. At the Black Box, which is part of AS220, Josh...
It's way less than $200 to take a flight from Providence from Philadelphia to Providence right now. Super cheap.
So if you're in Philadelphia, there you go. No excuse. But
My point is, anywhere farther than that, you can drive to. Closer than that.
Yes.
You can drive to
Yeah.
Providence.
You can get sleigh tickets for really cheap right now too.
So let me read the details. It is Monday, February 23rd from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Black Box Theater. That's 95 Empire Street in Providence, Rhode Island. I know, Ledger, you wish you were there, don't you? And it's like, as Josh said, they're going to pull something out of the 16 millimeter archives, and it's going to be a proto blaxploitation film. So it's a mystery. So you got to show up to find out what it is, and don't miss the boat on this one. It's going to be fun. I went to the last screening, and it was a fucking blast. So my hope is that I can make it to this one. I don't see anything standing in my way. So hopefully I will get to go and hang out with Josh, and anyone else out there should make it and go support Josh, because not many people are doing what he's doing. And this is really fucking cool that he puts these on, and, a lot of people are excited about them, but then they don't go. So, support it so that Josh can continue to do these screenings.
I just looked up to see if Cotton Comes to Harlem was from 1970, but it's way before that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about the blaxploitation to.
If you try to
guess.
cheat and put in right what they said, his event comes up.
Oh, nice. That's funny. So there you go. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for the reviews. I knew you were a strong proponent of Turkish Star Wars, so I'm glad that you got a chance to call in that review. Let's see what else we got here. We have some. Okay, looks like we get some other film reviews. This is for What We Do in the Shadows. We got this earlier. I probably should have played it earlier, but here we'll play it right now. It's called. I'll just play it, and it might help if I unmute the player. Let me do that again. Here we go.
In a world where the dead walk among the living, only one thing is for cursed to spend eternity drinking human blood.
Awaken!
You're going to end up with digestive problems.
That is...
Morbid Visions proudly presents What We Do in the Shadows. It's a nightmare of stomach-churning proportions. You haven't experienced terror like this since you ate a large burrito and forgot to buy toilet paper.
So, yeah, it's a real mess in there.
Card. So if you've got the guts, go and see What We Do. Streaks. Coming soon to a theater near you.
I don't think that was the film, but I don't know. It sounds funny.
No, that wasn't the film.
We do in the shadows.
We do in the shadows.
We do.
The Babadoo.
Well, maybe that's the sequel. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Home Office got us a screener or something. Well, there we go. All right. Well, we have to check this one out.
Most expensive science sequel of all time. Coming soon to a theater near you. It's Watch as Walker. He tries to become Turkish Yoda. Women in audience enjoy deep sexual tension between Hassan Solo and the chaste female Princess Lakshmi.
You're jealous!
I am not.
You are! You are!
But beware, for always there is threat from evil infidel bad person, the half man, half machine, half wizard, Darth Falafel.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
All money is on screen. Stare in awe of aliens you have never seen. And thrill to greatest fight scenes in all of Turkish cinema. It's the great back. If you and remember, children, no matter where you go, you
Believe you have eyes.
Wow. I guess we got reviews for the trailers for the sequels. What We Do in the
Gonna have to
Shadows.
watch that.
Yeah,
For sure.
Turkish
Sure gonna
Emperor
watch
Strikes Back. Man, that sounds fucking incredible. Yeah,
We're there.
we're there. Let's review it next week. Speaking of next week, I actually forgot to mention it might be one of my most anticipated films of the year. We're going to review Wormwood, Road of the Dead. This is supposedly Mad Max meets Dawn of the Dead. I
Sounds
can't.
stupid. I hate both of those things
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. This sounds like it's gonna be terrible. So no, this sounds great, and it's been getting some great reviews. It just hit VOD on February 13th. So kneel before VOD, as MonsterZero would say. Pony up to the Yahoo or Yahoo, Amazon is what I meant to say. Does anyone use Yahoo anymore?
No.
Is that a thing?
No.
Okay, so use Amazon. I'm sure it's on iTunes. But that's WY.
Isn't Bing affiliated with Yahoo?
Wormwood. Check it out. It's just wanted to forgot to mention that earlier. I think got any emails this week contest.
There you go.
So nothing super exciting there. Just let them know. I think I might have read this last week. I think Nathan Coy Vance Duke. I think I read his stuff. He wanted to hear us talk about the NXT show. Dynamo, have you seen the NXT Rivals yet?
First match.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like
now, the style that I don't know if you guys saw Triple H did the Stone Cold podcast. Have you seen or heard that yet?
No,
Dynamo?
not yet. I haven't watched that yet either.
Okay, so one cool thing about that was he had said, and this was very poignant for me, because he says if you play football, like if you play for a college football team, if you get drafted by the Patriots, you're going to learn their playbook. If you get drafted by the Jets, you're going to use their playbook. So that's sort of how he correlated how their style is. He said WWE is this one style. And if you go to New Japan, you're going to be running plays off a different playbook, or Ring of Honor, or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, or Lucha Underground, or wherever, And I thought that was very interesting. What were you going to say, Dynamo?
It is interesting, but it doesn't work. It is interesting, but it doesn't work.
I think
that's like saying if you it doesn't work though, because it's an art form, and what makes art form where artists do make art their own way, and then what makes it cooler than almost any other form of art, except for maybe like improvisational jazz, is that it's two artists that maybe do it a different way, trying to make a kind of art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily disagree with you, but he put it in a way that was sort of like, black and white. I think there's definitely more gray area in there. They have their own style of how they want people to do, or a top rope move or something, because I might lose some people out there to do that. You need to have the right people to do that. So, for instance, like Tyler Black or, Seth Rollins, I've only seen him do the Phoenix Splash once in the WWE. And he used to do that in every single match, and back in Ring of Honor. And, so I think they probably are like, don't do this. And he did it. I think he did it in that heavyweight title match for Royal Rumble. So he probably was like, you know what, I'm going to pull it out here.
Attitude does work. It just needs to be a certain way. Like, you don't want someone doing, if AJ Styles came to the WWF tomorrow, he may have to have a different move, because all of a sudden, out of the blue, he's hurting motherfuckers left and right with Styles Clash. Mm-hmm. So like you don't want that, right? You don't want your commodities injured. No business endeavor wants that, So in a way it works, but like it just doesn't like it's, if you look at every match that's gotten renown, like even though I didn't love it, that main event from the Royal Rumble, not the Royal Rumble, wasn't set up like your typical WWF match.
No, it wasn't. No.
There's a ton of kicking out of finishes, a ton of falsies, like a ton of like a lot of high flying moves. So that has renown. The title match between Sami Zayn and Aaron Neville was like more like an old school NWA match than it with a bit of a ring of a bit of what those guys came from than it was a WWF main event. and it has renown. The problem is when you put, I hate to shit on him, but say John Cena, you get a particular kind of match, but the guys who are not doing that are getting over. And I'm not sure why they're trying to make these other guys wrestle that way when it's not working up top. Like Dean Ambrose's matches and Dean Ambrose's style and Bray Wyatt's style are very different than what everybody else is doing. And they're over. Like, they're in the main events of most of these shows lately. So, like, why isn't Zack Ryder, you can talk about them burying him despite the fact he's over. But really, part of the problem that nobody wants to talk about is his matches were always fucking boring and exactly the same. So, like, why would you want that when it's not working up top? It's not even working in their own company.
Well, I'm not saying it's right. That's just the way they do it.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting, but I will say it's wrong. Like, to a degree, there are elements of it, but those are all common sense things, right?
Yeah.
Like the dudes but I mean, like, and again, say somebody picked me to do a record because they liked the way I sang on Too Ugly for Heaven.
The John Curvin part?
Yeah, right. and then I got there, and they said, now you have to sing like Barry White.
Right. You don't do that.
Right. And they're just kind of trying to make
be like Barry
White, but the problem is it's not even like any weird arbitrary power trip thing like it was for years. Now it's like, you're going to sing like Barry White, and that guy from Curtain Society who we like the song Kiss Her Face, he's going to sing like Barry White now too. And everybody's going to sing like Barry White.
Take off that Brazilian, my dear.
Ooh.
I think it's funny. Somebody said this recently, and I complain about him all the time. But I think the best comparison is the failure of the New 52, right? The only book that stood out of the thing was Batman.
Yes.
And that's because no one would tell that guy how to write. Because the writer and the artist on that book put their backs to each other and just fucking fought like hell. And you'd hear tweets and everything else every week that DC editorial's gonna do this, and those guys would say nope.
Yep.
And then the book would come out and it was awesome. It was the best-selling DC book of the year. Yep. And all these other books that started out selling well because it was new and hip, they all fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
So now, a few years later, they're fucking rebooting things again because they fucked up.
Yep. I just want to get to a couple comments in the chat room. Ledger says that whole podcast was really good. So that was Triple H on Stone Cold's podcast. And he says, no, Dynamo is wrong. WWE pays the bills, so they decide how these guys wrestle. Tom C says Raven Shadow is a polite man, but yeah, wrestling.
Hey.
And then Ledger says it might be wrong, but the WWE is still making money. Hard to argue with. So,
I guess, but there's not. It's really.
Yeah, I mean, as wrestling purists and people who, we enjoy all styles, the WWE style is pretty stale at times. And, granted...
Christina Aguilera, I just hate that it's making money, so that validates it. Like Christina, it's like Raven Shadow does it all the time. Like something's making money, so that validates that it's good.
Well, no, that doesn't... in my opinion, it doesn't validate that it's good. I think the thing is they have sponsors to worry about. They get their income from, from people who think... who they do something one way, and if they're making money, if you change it drastically, you could lose that money or you could lose sponsors. There's a lot that goes into it, and I'm not saying that it's right or wrong or indifferent. I'm just saying that they have to answer to a board and to sponsors and to paying customers. So if they find something that works, I think they're just like, you know what, it's working. We're the books look good. We're in the positive here. We're not in the red. So let's stick with it. So
I think the only place that they have to answer to sponsors really anymore is their 3-hour show where they do 20 minutes of wrestling. So why does it matter how they wrestle? Yeah, like that's a different thing. They have their own network where they can do whatever they want.
I agree. Yeah, I just like to see them take some more risks. And if you look at NXT, Triple H, that's his fucking brainchild. He's running that, and he's doing a fantastic job. That's some of the best wrestling in America, I think. I mean, sure, Chikara and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, but they have some of the best talent in the world there right now, and they're putting on great matches, and the booking is solid, great storytelling, and that's what I want to see on WWE TV, and I don't know that we'll ever see it. Hopefully one day, I hate to say, Vince is, I don't want to wish him away, But when he leaves the business or when he croaks or whatever, hopefully Triple H has proved himself enough to take over, and he's able to do more of that.
Yeah, I just think it's not like you can say it's right because they pay the bills, and that is true. You know, like whoever, like I don't get to go to Marvel and write Spider-Man like I want to, but the reason that like the New 52 is a perfect example of this was such a big failure. It's because there was direct competition. Like there is a big two in comics where there's not at all in wrestling. Like the closest thing to the WWF is closer to the next thing behind it than it is to the WWF.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of they can wrestle this very safe. They can keep this very safe, homogenized style right now because there's nothing to make people, holy shit, did you see that thing on the other channel? Did you know what I mean? Like the only ones who have a point of reference that there is a different styles of wrestling out there now is the WWF. You know, so people think that that's what wrestling is. You know.
Well, this is something we could probably discuss maybe when you get a chance to see NXT Rival. We'll discuss it in greater detail.
Yeah, it's great.
But we need to wrap up this episode, and let me just get in this last comment. Ledger says, Dynamo, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that cash is king, and they're making cash. Until they have some sort of competition, it'll remain status quo. And that's kind of what you just said. So
right, yeah, or go away. I'm like, I feel like I see a lot of things that nobody wants to talk about, like where business it's had a slight bump, but business has been not that good for them since the network. So, you know, we'll see what happens, I guess. You know, it's gonna keep doing what it's doing or go away. There's no unless I get, let's put it this way, unless I leave Tiny White's house right now and get hit with a box that has billions and billions of dollars in it. There's no competition. And even that, I don't know if there is, because I'm not going to create something. I'm just going to throw money at one of the things that already works. I'm going to say, listen, Excalibur, listen, Mike Quackenbush, you know, who wants to hire me to just stand around and watch wrestling and take this money? Because, you know, so, but until that happens.
Shit, Psycho's in the chat room. He says Dynamo needs to get his balls back.
Oh,
all right. Well, I'm sorry you're just joining now, Psycho. We have to end the episode. But before we do, Dynamo, I know we mentioned earlier you were going to talk about Matthew Vaughn and Kingsman. So give us your...
Well, I saw it on Ledger's recommendation.
2-minute review.
And it was just great. It was great. I highly recommend it. It was good enough that I haven't seen an action movie that I wasn't kind of like, even the Expendables that I liked, the Expendable films, like since I've seen The Raid, it's all fucking ruined. Like if it's, you know, the only methadone for The Raid for me is going back and watching those old Gold Harvest films, you know, where Jackie Chan would kick a dude off the balcony and he would not only fall down the balcony, he would hit a fucking chair on the way down. Like that's the only thing for me. The action in this was so cool and so stylized that it actually made me enjoy it and not say, well, this isn't The Raid. Like where I can't. And I've been fucking praying that thing would come along that would make me forget about The Raid and The Raid 2. And it was great. And I think that this is, since Layer Cake and I'm drawing a blank now, and maybe Kick-Ass. Like if you take Layer Cake and Kick-Ass, like there was kind of a different Vaughn by the time he got to Kick-Ass, and sort of like he evolved again in the way he handled things in the X-Men First Class movie. This is like a complete film director now, firing on all cylinders, like taking all the things he's learned from all these different projects and making it awesome. And this is also a high praise. This is the only film ever I think I like the film more than the book.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it's really fucking great.
Cool. Yeah, I'm curious. I was hoping I could see it with you, but it wasn't in the cards that night. But
we were originally going to Millbury too, but like I don't know, lazy ass MC 900-foot Ronsky, the world's worst backstage manager, lives closer to that one. So
yeah, no worries. You got something to say, Raven Shadow? You putting
if I could interject, this is the third conversation I had about Kingsman today. One was with a 20-something-year-old fella, and one was a 42-year-old woman who came to me and said how much they loved it. And a big thing was, if you see the trailer, you might dismiss it. But
yeah, the trailer doesn't look good, honestly, to me.
Yeah. But the young fellow I talked to said he saw the Red Band trailer, which got him more enthused for it. But no, I mean, I've heard this really is the third conversation I've had about this. People seem to dig it. R-rated. Can we talk about the cameo, or is that better to be?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Don't. And also, the cameo works as kind of an Easter egg for anybody that's read the book too. So don't.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But it's great. I do have 2 words that I would like to discuss with anyone at this panel when they do see it, and that's church scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're gonna say suck it.
No, that's the attitude era is somebody else's game.
All right. Well, I was going to talk about films that I've seen, but I don't know. Like, that's other shows do that. It's not really our gimmick. Not that we can't do it, but I guess what the fuck. I saw RoboCop.
How long are we running? It don't matter.
No, we're pretty
long.
We're long. I saw RoboCop, the 2014.
I saw that back in 1985, but no, you're coming a party late.
No, is the remake.
Oh.
And it definitely isn't as good as the original. But it wasn't too bad. I was hoping for a little bit more action. But Joel Kinnaman, the guy who plays Alex Murphy, aka RoboCop, supposedly is the guy who's going to play Rick Flag now, or at least is in the running.
He was on the Killing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was. Yep.
Skinny guy, smoked a lot of bucks.
Sure. I haven't seen it, but yeah. So I saw that, and I also saw Predestination, which is a film that I was kind of curious to review, and I guess we could still potentially review, but I don't know. It's not a typical Trick or Treat Radio film. It's sci-fi, and I think you'd dig it, Tiny. Are you familiar with the source material, by the way? All You Zombies?
I'm not actually.
Okay.
Surprised, and I did not go look it up. I'll go watch it first and then check it out.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe it's one we'll slot in. We have a lot of movies coming up that we're reviewing, but it was interesting. It's one that I would like to discuss with people. And that's why I kind of am curious about maybe doing it on the show, but we'll see. I mean, we got a lot of other stuff coming up. So, but it was directed by the Spierig brothers, who did Undead, the Australian film from 2002, which is, I think it's 2002, which is great. And they also did Daybreakers, which came out a few years back with Ethan Hawke as well, which you were a fan of that too, right, Dynamo?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it too. And these brothers are fantastic directors. The Predestination looks fucking great. And one of them even does the music, and there's a really cool synth score for it, Tiny, that I think you dig. So
interesting, yeah, cool.
Sort of in the style of Carpenter. Not quite his style, but similar in some respects. So it was pretty cool. So there's a couple other things I've seen, but those are the 2 I was going to discuss. I don't know. So for next week, we are going to review Wormwood, which I'm super excited for. I'm not sure what we're going to do for our second segment. We'll figure that out soon, though, and we'll post that up somewhere. And yeah, I think that's going to do it.
We haven't done an Ask the Deadites in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. Maybe we can do that. Maybe
our board is a lot more healthy than the first time we did it. So
true.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. That's a good idea. Raven Shadow, before we head out of here, any final thoughts? Anything you want to?
Yeah, I
mention?
watched special Valentine's Day edition. We watched The Dirty Dancing. Johnny Castle ripping it up, never giving a fuck. Patrick Swayze all day. I kind of wish we watched Point Break or Roadhouse.
Yeah, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. And then watch the Westminster Dog Show because I'm fucking lame. Hey,
we didn't say it. We didn't have to say it.
I have a vendetta against that because that used to come on. Believe it.
Yes.
We lived in a time where that used to come on and preempt Raw.
Yeah. Every fucking year.
That sucked.
Psycho says Raven Shadow's nips look like poppy seed bagels.
You can see that? XSplit's really fucking good.
It is
you can really make it out.
Right. Yes.
All right.
I gotta go.
Tiny, anything?
No, let's get out of here. It's nice to be back. To be back.
Yeah.
We didn't mention. Glad to have you back. The show is better for it.
Back again for the last time. Good.
All right, Dynamo, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to episode 134. This was a lot of fun talking about what we do in the shadows and also Turkish Star Wars. Jump the gun there. Why don't you join us next week for episode 135? We talk about Wormwood. It's going to be fucking awesome. See ya.